We're back. Second day in a row. 33 burning DC questions. What? I'm doing a DC stream? What? Why am I giving these guys attention? The honest truth is, I'm cheering for DC. I'm rooting for them. I want to be friends with Eddie and be like, look, they've got this great universe. It's film connected. It's TV connected. It's video game connected. I'm ready to just hop off. And I don't even have to hop off of this boat. I can be a fan of both Marvel and DC. And that's where I am. That's where my fandom is right now, right? Right. All right, let's begin. The first question of 33 burning DC questions. Audience, you can play along too in the live chat. What is Patty Jenkins' relationship with DC Studios? Paul, take it away.
Nothing. She's done. Wonder Woman 1984 killed her career. And it's clear that happened because she has no Star Wars projects. They haven't announced anything to do with her. She's done.
I have to say I agree. I actually still have not watched 1984 because I heard it was so terrible. And these days, saying that you have a project with Lucasfilm is like saying you don't have one. So, she's just out in limbo, I guess, and she's gonna have to hope that somebody else will give her another chance at something.
How about you, Rosales? What do you think about Patty Jenkins' relationship? I don't hear you. Do you guys hear him?
All right, I don't hear him.
Patty Jenkins. Wonder Woman 1, Wonder Woman 2. There's not going to be a third, but it's still James Gunn, right? Like, we can still do something together. What's Patty Jenkins feeling when she speaks to Safran and Gunn? On you.
Oh, you're talking to me now? There's a delay in the thing.
Okay.
Well, pretty much it's non-existent now. And yes, I do agree that 84 did kill that potential third film or a I mean, again, when the CEO of DC Studios himself says that the second film was a downgrade and they wonder what happened, that's pretty much telling that there was no road for a potential third film. And I think overall with DC Studios, there's potential for it to come back. It's just that there's a weird thing that happens when directors make a bad film. It takes a while for the audiences and for executives to warm up back to them. But I feel like potentially down the road in a few years, maybe. But I do agree for now, at least for his first phase of DC films, television, whatever. Yeah, she's definitely not going to be involved. Not even with the Wonder Woman stuff they have planned either.
I think it's over. I think everyone wants to be like, we're putting our stamp on it. We'll find our own woman's director to direct, Supergirl or whatever the woman's movie is going to be. Number 2, how many Robins will we see? We already know that Damian's there. That's one. And I can't believe them not doing Teen Titans, something with Dick Grayson. So that's the second Robin. That might just be it, though. There's no room to, Jason Todd did this, and then Tim Drake did that. It's not the time for that. 2. Eddie? Oh, there's a crazy lag.
Felicity, go ahead. Not bad. Yeah, I think based on what they're saying for Brave and the Bold, of course Damian Wayne is Robin, but I feel like that already paves the way for Nightwing to be a thing already, and him already having been Robin. So that's 2. Jason Todd is probably like the easiest person just saying he died and that's it. But I don't know if they want to go that route or not. But like you could have a thing where you just say he died, so that could be 3. But like I don't see anyone else like Tim Drake or anyone else. Like I don't think that's going to be a thing. But as far as I know, I'll just say 2 for now.
Yeah, we're asking a lot for the audience to expect more than 2. Felicity?
You know what? I would hope that James Gunn has learned from his experience with Marvel and realized that the multiversal stuff, maybe we need to back off of that right now and just focus on telling some good stories. Would I like to see Nightwing? Yeah, and I actually wouldn't mind seeing Brenton Thwaites, who is in the ill-fated Titans. That show is fucking horrible. Sorry. But I wouldn't mind seeing him actually do the role in the DCU for James Gunn, but I don't think he's going to do that. He's probably going to go in a different direction.
We're on question number 2, K. How many Robins will we see?
I think 2, just Damian and Tim.
That's exactly what I thought you would say. Good answer.
But I think they should definitely call Tim Red Robin, not Robin. You got to differentiate. You can't just call them both Robin.
Paul, do you understand that joke over in Australia? I said yum.
No.
Damn it. Okay, how many Robins you got?
Tim Drake, definitely. Yeah, I think 2 is enough to start out with. I am a big fan of just making this universe proper and making it in one universe and not having any multiverse crap. I just want just a single DC universe, flatline, make the Bat family, make Soup's family, just do the right thing, and make everything just flow, bring the stories to life from the comics. Then we can go down the years and do some multiverse stuff, and alternate character stories. Can we just have Tim Drake graduating to Nightwing, have a Robin take over from him?
Dick Grayson.
Dick Grayson and Tim Drake are the 2 I want.
Too late. You know you were getting Damian. It's already been announced. The Brave and the Bold.
I hate that idea. Yeah, I hate that.
Too late. Talia al Ghul was giving him, so you can't say 2. You have to say 3.
Yeah, I'll say 3 then. Yeah, if that's the case, I'll take 3 because I don't really like Damian. I don't like that idea. But yeah, Dick Grayson definitely, because I want to see him graduate. I want to see Batman recruit him from the Flying Graysons. I want to see the formation of Robin, and then what happens, why he leaves Batman and becomes Nightwing. I want to see that story told on the big screen, and I just think that we deserve an actual prime DC universe.
That's not happening because they're starting in an already lived-in world where there's already Damian Wayne's already old enough to have had a kid with Talia al Ghul 12 years ago. So Dick Grayson has made it out of the Robin phase. He's in Nightwing phase.
He should be at the point where, I was sort of against the idea of the Damian Wayne thing, but only if this is the case. Nightwing and the Titans need to be established. Nightwing and Starfire need to already be together. Red Hood should by now be an ally to the Bat family. All this stuff should be happening by the time we get to Damian and is here. If James Gunn is going to pull something Damian Wayne is the first Robin type of bullshit or whatever, then we already fucking up. I don't think he will, but
hell no.
You may never know, But I hope that's not the case. I just hope if you're going to do decisions like this and do a lived-in world, have it be lived in. Because Hal Jordan's going to be up in age. John's here. Guy's here. It just makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. If you're going to do it, then you have to have the established storylines already, and these characters then have to be established. They have to have their attitudes already in the story. You already have to have Dick Grayson, who's a bit resistant to Bruce Wayne already, all that sort of stuff. So if they're going to do it that way, then they need to have all these characters established and have their attitudes from the comics in their characters.
Right. You got to go all the way in at that point.
Cheryl, before we move on, since we're talking Batman, I just want to put it out there, or maybe, see how everybody else feels about it. I'm not saying I want this right now, but I would like to see them take a shot at Batman Beyond, live action. Because personally, for me, I felt like Robert Pattinson would have made a better Terry McGinnis than an actual Bruce Wayne. But that's just me.
Yeah.
And I did not appreciate the Batman like a lot of other people did. But yeah, I'm just, how do you guys feel about that at some point? Not right now.
Yeah, at some point, fine, you got it. After a full James Gunn kind of universe, he's done his last movie. What about Batman Beyond? Because the Batman actor would have been a lot older, and you get to keep your Batman actor to play the older Bruce Wayne, and you do some Batman Beyond stuff.
More so,
just on the way out, we're about to reboot and reshuffle and make another attached universe, but we're almost over. Then I would only take it. I don't want to see a Batman Beyond now or this early or really anytime, because we live in the era of attached film universes. if Batman Beyond is Terry McGinnis, then everything else needs to be in the future too, and I'm not ready for that.
Well, I would say, I mean, this is what I like Terry, but I think if anything, the most realistic next step of who would be Batman, who would take that up, is, Damian or Dick Grayson. But I think for sure we should get Batman Beyond, but as like an Elseworld spin-off thing, like maybe a series, like, because you have to remember it's in like it's deep in the future. Bruce Wayne's already old. Superman's like older. A lot of League members and stuff are dead. It's like when Bruce Wayne's in his 90s and 80s. So we would have to wait a long time for that. So for the actor to get up in age, or hell, they do Michael Keaton, Batman Beyond. I think that would be the most realistic thing to do. Elseworld, Michael Keaton, Batman Beyond.
That's actually what I thought they were going to do. I thought that was what their plan was with the Batgirl. I thought that's what they were going to be bringing him in for, to be basically, a mentor.
I think they did have something in production with Michael Keaton for Batman Beyond. Eddie, do you remember if they announced that? They announced that they was doing a Batman Beyond animated, but I think they had something in production for that.
I remember people pitched people that were involved in the Spider-Verse films pitched a animated Batman Beyond movie, but Warner Brothers passed on it. And initially, when Michael Keaton was going to be the main DCU Batman post-Flash reboot, until they scrapped that idea, they were pitching a Batman Beyond movie with him, but they canceled it as well, obviously, since they decided to reboot the universe altogether instead of, whatever they were planning for the DCU post-Flash. But yeah, they canceled 2 projects from Batman Beyond. And to give my thoughts, yeah, I like Batman Beyond. I like the show. It was fire, and I think something like that, in my opinion, is either it's Elseworlds or you won't see that for at least like 20 years from now. That's my thoughts on Batman Beyond.
That's what I said. Who was the breakout star of Creature Commandos trailer?
Frankenstein's the Bride of Frankenstein. She's the bride, but the Bride of Frankenstein. The reason I say she's the breakout star,
check 1, check 2,
is because of the cosplay that's about to happen with her character.
Why did Felicity is the only one who laughed at that one? That's not right.
She'll look at
it is what it is. We're all animals here, So if you saw something you liked in there, hey, good for you.
So who you think is the breakout star then?
Actually, come back to me. I probably actually need to go rewatch that trailer because it's not sticking out to me right now.
I'll find it on the side. Rosales, who you got?
Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
I haven't seen it. You go ahead, chill.
Okay. Yeah, K-Dot?
No, I was going to say the Bride and Rick Flag Sr. 2 breakouts, I think, will be good for the show.
Eddie?
Oh, wait a minute. That's right. That's going to be Frank Grillo, right?
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's doing the voice and will be in the Superman movie. Wow, the animation looks so much better than Invincible.
A new task force.
I like the robot.
Okay, let's see here. Steve Agee, Maria Bakalova. Don't know these names. Frank Carrillo, I remember him and Sean Gunn. David Harbour, I know him. Anyone else? Viola Davis.
Alan Tudyk is going to be the standout. He always is.
K2SO, yeah.
Alan, he plays Dr. Phosphorus.
And it's coming in December. Still haven't given us a date to this day.
I think Christmas is probably the best time to start it up.
I think her little unamused face. She's the standout.
Aren't human.
She's the standout.
And I doubt they will, but hopefully they don't drop all the episodes at once and they drop it weekly. HBO and Max hasn't been doing that with a lot of their shows, but hopefully they don't decide to do that with this.
The Fish Girl. Wrong answers. Number 4. Would you rather be saved by Superman or by Batman? You're going to be telling this story to all your friends. Oh my God, it was Superman. I was in the air. He was carrying me. Or is that like you don't want to admit? Yeah, I guess he was carrying me. I think
What
that
universe?
Superman has a
What
much better
universe?
story. What you were even saved from, probably it's going to be much more impactful, much more like huger because it was Superman who saved you. What is Batman going to save you from? It means you were in Gotham City. If I say Superman saved me, probably because I don't know, I was drowning, I was in the ocean, I was on an airplane. What's Batman gonna do? I need Superman to save me. It's just easy, and no, everyone should have the same answer. Would you rather be saved by Batman or Superman, Paul?
If it's in Snyder's universe, it's Batman because he actually cares about people and saving them. If it's in Batman the animated series, it's Batman. If it's Superman in the animated series, like Brave and the Bold, probably Superman because you get to fly. Although he can't fly as fast as with a human, you'll blast.
What if it's the real world? Okay, it is a comic accurate world that we live in. They act just like comic books. Who do you want saving you?
Okay, well, it's Batman. It's still Batman.
Damn.
Yeah, it's still Batman. Superman, he fly down real fast, but then he'll grab you. He can't fly at the speed of sound with you. He can't do that with you in his arms. You'll fly apart. You'll die. Batman will take you away in his bat plane in the Batwing. Man, come on, way cooler.
Eddie, who you got? Batman or Superman? Who's saving you?
Even though Batman's my favorite character, I'm choosing Superman since it's easier. Like, I'm really not trying to stress out. I imagine I was all tied up by terrorists. I had to watch some guy in a costume fighting for like 10 minutes trying to save me, while some other guy that has super strength just comes out of nowhere, and it's a wrap. Just save me and I'll leave. Like, thank you.
Yes.
That's really what it's going to be. You're really going to be waiting 10 minutes for him to beat up all the bad guys, and you just sit there, hear the ticking. Well, me, I would like to be saved by a Superman. I feel like he's going to be a little bit passionate when he saves me and stuff. He might rub me on the cheek and go like, he might be passionate with it. Batman, he's going to be a little bit rough and he might be mean about it. He's not going to show no love.
Yeah, he's going to change his voice. Get over here. What? I don't want that. I need Superman.
Batman is going to make sure I survive. He's not going to make sure I'm not hurt.
Look,
Batman. I got bad knees, so Batman is going to just drop me down. Once he catches me, it's going to pop my back while he's grabbing me. And who knows if that rope can hold me up? Michael Keaton's Batman's rope couldn't hold up a chick. So,
mind you, Batman might be a little bit insensitive because he might go like, yes. "Oh, you should never got yourself in a situation where you're being held hostage by a person with a bomb." It's like, dude, how am I supposed to prevent this?
See, he's been listening to Selena. It's this white privilege, right? So he's so
it's why he's white privilege. That white privilege.
Felicity, would you rather be saved by Superman or Batman?
I would love to be saved by Henry Cavill Superman.
There's no follow-up questions. We understand completely what you mean by that.
The Cavalrine.
Number 5 is how canon is the Blue Beetle film. They said that they're going to use the same actors from that universe, from that film that we saw. So is everything that happened there canon to the DCU?
No,
I think so.
They're going to use the same actors and the same cast, but soft rebooted.
It's going to be about as canon as the first season of I don't forget
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker, yeah. Okay, so that was canon with the previous universe, and now that it's coming into its second season, it's going to be canon with this universe. But things are not exactly going to be the exact same. A lot of things are going to change. Maybe his jokes about Aquaman are going to change. But so yeah, the Blue Beetle is not going to be exactly the same either. Sure, it's going to be the same actor. They might even, have some funny Mexicans on or something on. Who knows? But it's not going to be exactly 100% the same.
I don't remember the Aquaman jokes being anything that's world breaking or it can't carry over.
It was hilarious.
Well, because what they might do, and same case with Blue Beetle, but I don't think you should do this route. For like Peacemaker to Peacemaker season 2, do a tonal shift. Like first season, straight up comedy, right? A good season, comedy. Tonal shift. Peacemaker is taking a little bit more serious. He's still kind of himself, but the world is taking a little bit more serious. It's not like it's less slapstick, But he's already making changes. I just think you just soft reboot it. make some slight tweaks to the suit, and just origins.
Hanging
But-
an under new management sign on the front.
Yep. But I think they did say they want to start off with a Blue Beetle animated show to introduce first, and then show him in live action, later. So I think he's going to be featured more than anything.
I prefer that.
I don't understand why we need to do a soft reboot on this character's. I mean, he had a movie. It didn't do well. It wasn't that great. I mean, move away, just like you're moving away with everything else.
But the actor was a perfect Blue Beetle, like Jaime Reyes. That's the thing. The actor was perfect.
Oh, they
Everything
moved
Felicity
away from
just said is
Cavill,
true.
and he was actually the Superman that a lot of people would have wanted to have. He was just wasted in the Snyderverse. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Well, I think with the case of, okay, this is why I say, as much as I would like for me, I would want Jason Momoa to stay as like maybe Aquaman, maybe, or like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. But to be fair, in order for them to like get away from the Snyder stuff, they had to destroy the pillars, which was those Justice League characters, especially Ray Fisher as Cyborg. So you had to knock out them pillars.
Amen.
Yeah, like you literally have to knock out the pillars of that universe, and because bringing in Peacemaker is a irrelevant side character of the DC world. You can kind of transition him over and he's going to be in a small role anyways. So, as long as I would like some actors to stay, they're huge pillars of the Snyderverse, which is going to entice a certain fan base.
Okay, but that's not. Am I muted? Hello?
We got you.
Hey, okay, that's not the question. The question is how canon the Blue Beetle is going to be. Next question. Stick to the questions. When will James Gunn direct his next film? We know he's doing Superman Legacy, but he's too busy being the producer while all these other things are going on. Yeah, it was nice for him to screenwrite and do the first movie. He's going to be very occupied, and he's going to have some people who are going to be doing the other movies who he can trust to be hands off when it comes to directing these movies. He knows what a director wants as a director.
Wait a minute. He's not directing the Supergirl thing?
No. Somebody else is. He's producing, but somebody else going to direct it. He's directing a couple episodes for Peacemaker. He's directing Superman. Yeah, that's really much what he's directing so far. But I think it's going to be very soon. He might be if the rumors of what the other Slate stuff was revealed, like a Superman versus the Authority movie, there was that rumor going around. He might just direct the Authority. Since he's starting with Superman, might as well direct the team that's supposed to be in this upcoming spinoff film where they go at it. So he might be directing the Authority. But no, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing that he's kind of taking that initiative to direct this stuff.
But he's the co-CEO. When does he have time to do all of this stuff? You got to start delegating.
Speed kills.
He's standing on business.
I mean, he has a team at DC Studios, and he said he's the creative. Well, Peter Safran is a financial person behind the studio, so I'm pretty sure he would have enough time. And I think, I'm pretty sure he would direct the Authority. I mean, during the Slate reveal, he called it a passion project, and plus he literally has one of the members within the Superman movie, so it's like that's probably tying the films together. I don't know, maybe.
Which member is that? Morphinova? What?
The engineers in Superman.
What's his name?
The engineer.
Oh, it's a girl. It's a woman.
The engineer.
I could turn her body to metal or whatever.
She's
the more you know.
One of the villains.
The more we know. He'll direct his nuts on my face. Is that the face there? Is it there?
Sounds like the Diddy party.
Yeah, that's exactly right. No, I don't think he's going to direct for a while. I think he shouldn't too. I think he should be responsible and be the creative direction of DC. And please, make Warner Brothers not be stupid anymore. That's my biggest prayer to James Gunn. Please do accurate comic book characters and destroy people that think they can take their own takes on these characters. These characters existed for 50 years. We need to just literally make a DC universe that people can respect. And he needs to be in charge of that.
The best answer is the Justice League, big crossover movie, because he's going to know exactly what the intention is for that character, and everyone else on the team.
Yeah,
That's
so
my
like in
answer.
15 years. Cool. That's a good idea. I agree.
And I think that's what he's already doing anyways. As I say, it's a lived-in world, and he's kind of just getting straight to the point. Like, he's skipping all the riffraff, all the origin stuff. He's just like, let's get deep into it.
I think the Justice League is going to show up at the end of the Superman movie. That's what I think. I think they're going to start off as the Terrifics and then morph into the Justice League. And I don't think he's going to direct another movie until after 2027. 2026 is going to be the point where WBD is going to decide what to do. They'll be able to liquidate some assets after that point, and they may liquidate DC as a whole. And if they do that, then all bets are off on anything. So, oh, hey, look at that.
The jolly fellow is here.
Please.
Good to see you.
It's called the guy that actually decides to talk about reality as opposed to, all of your hopes and wannabes.
Jaded Fanboy, we were talking about directing and James Gunn being the director of Superman. When is he going to do the next Superman movie? I mean, when is he going to direct his next movie? What do you think?
Well, it depends on how successful the first one is. I mean, what happens if it ends up being like Guardians of the the Eternals, where everybody just doesn't really care about it, right? I mean, I know with KDOT that doesn't compute, because apparently KDOT thinks that the next James Gunn movie is going to be absolutely amazing. But again, there may be, it could very well. But again, it all depends on the success of the first one. I mean, he could end up being told, yeah, you know what? It's a flop. We're changing direction.
That's true. Now, all this talk about James Gunn. Felicity, you think Peter Safran's jealous?
Jealous of what? I mean, he's his manager.
He's the co-CEO. They're co-president.
Yeah, but like you said earlier, he's standing on business. So he's supposed to be the one that's supposed to be handling the business part of it, for the most part. I don't know why he would be jealous. Hopefully he can hold up his end.
Okay, you brought it up earlier, Eddie, when you were talking about Peter Safran and he's the financial guy. Do you think Peter Safran is jealous hearing everyone on Twitter talk about James Gunn's universe? Come on, he does.
I mean, I do understand from that standpoint, because again, if this universe is successful, everyone's going to point at James, not him.
Yeah,
but it's like he has like almost near non-existence at all, and even on social media, like he doesn't have anything. It's always James Gunn talking to the fans or announcing all this stuff while Peter is just in the background. Of course, he is developing stuff with him back behind the scenes, but it's like he just isn't that type of person to be out there like that, and that's fine, since it's like of course he still has a say, like he has the same amount of power as James Gunn to like announce stuff or to create new projects. But I feel like a type of jealousy where it's like possibly something could happen down the road where he's like, damn, I'm really not getting respected at all. Like I'm giving you guys this content too.
It's human nature.
These were my ideas, but it's like, but I think it's gonna run smoothly. If there are some problems, I mean, they both look like the type of people just to talk to each other.
I think I don't think he shouldn't be jealous, for one. If he does get jealous of like the recognition Gunn is getting, it's kind of weird, because at the end of the day, it's no different than what Feige is for Marvel. He's the business guy. He's not a creative. Like Deadpool and Wolverine, we thank the creatives of that, Ryan Reynolds and the people that actually worked on the film, for why it was successful. Feige's the business guy. How much input did he really have on Deadpool and Wolverine? Probably not that much.
A lot of jokes.
Greenlit that movie. Bob Chapek greenlit that movie.
Right, and I think Safran is like, yeah, you can, like, these companies greenlight this stuff. I think Safran is just the guy that greenlights things, but is he the one actually getting down there in the dirt creating stuff? Of course, James should get the credit for that. He deserves more of the credit. He's the creative behind this stuff. So yeah, but he shouldn't be jealous. He's a co-CEO. Be happy. You're a co-CEO of a company.
Might be wrong. It might actually be president, and me saying CEO is wrong. But
no, he is a co-CEO.
It really is? Okay.
CEO. I don't think he cares.
I
didn't know who he was before all of this came together and he became co-CEO. And I don't think it mattered to him whether or not I knew. So, yeah, James Gunn, he'd rather be in front of the camera and be known for things and do his stuff out in the public. That's why he's always posting all the pictures. I don't think Safran cares.
Don't worry, Chill. He won't be jealous after the movie comes out and guys like A-Doc find out how bad this movie is and getting all the hate he's going to get. So don't worry about it.
And look, honestly, just real quick, Safran should be happy anyways that James engages with the audience like that, because, you know, Feige doesn't do that. And that's why he doesn't really know what he should do for his universe right now, because, like, you're not engaging with the audience to know what the heck they want.
We had Aquaman being played by fan favorite actor Jason Momoa, guy from Game of Thrones. We saw him in Fast and Furious. We all know Aquaman. All right. 2 movies. What impact has his role and his Justice League role and his Peacemaker cameo? How has it changed the way we think of Aquaman? I think for the better. That's my answer. He made it a much more cooler. He doesn't just talk to fish. He's an action star. So Aquaman, at least that brand, is better off thanks to Jason Momoa by 30%.
Yeah, I guess the only impact he had was having people take Aquaman serious, but Aquaman always been cool because, you know, just because people made fun of him, Aquaman always been cool though. You know,
I wouldn't say better. I would say different, because it's like even with the Justice League animated show where you had, you know, Aquaman with the hook hand and more stern and more of a kingly type character, as opposed to, you know, the only one everybody seems to know about from the Justice Friends. It's just a different take. I mean, I liked his take on it. I wouldn't say it was better. It was just a different take that I kind of more connected with. And he brought more women to the comic book movie. So. Well, it's true. Why did all of the girlfriends go to see Aquaman? Because they
wanted to see they're Aquaman fans, jaded.
Look, yeah. He's not wrong. He's not wrong there. You know, as far as the impact of the character, I mean, the second movie was better for me than the first one.
Really?
I liked it more. Yeah, I was more into it. But impact-wise, I can't really say. I mean, I'm kind of curious where they're going to go, what direction they're going to go with like casting in James Gunn's DCU. So we'll just have to see. But I love Jason Momoa. Not sure he looks so great in that Minecraft movie, but you know, it is what it is. Like, he had to go. You know, Gal had to go. Henry had to go. Ben had to go. You know, it just kind of is what it is.
Do you guys think they should cast Alan Richardson as Aquaman?
No.
Okay.
I like Reacher, but you know, I think that he kind of mental together.
He did. He played Aquaman in. I'm pretty sure he's the actor that played Aquaman in Smallville.
He did. He had his chance already.
He was. Yeah.
41 years old.
Yeah.
No. Look at those eyes. Look at those eyebrows. He should play Shazam, Captain Marvel.
This is what I don't understand about fan casting, because who was really crazy about, you know, Jason Momoa playing Aquaman? Nobody. They was being made fun of. So it's like, and he pulled it off. So I don't really
see. I prefer him. I think if they're doing an established universe with Damian already there and Dick Grayson is already Nightwing, I think that guy should play Bruce Wayne. He's a favorite of mine to play Batman. I think he'd make a great Bruce. He has the look, he has the build of the animated series. Like, he has that real build. Yeah, the physical look. He also has the physical jaw for the cowl, which is necessary for it to look good. And I think he would look amazing in a bat suit. He would, and you could believe him wailing on villains. Like, you could, because he does it in Reacher. He beats the crap out of villains in that. I want to see him do that in a bat suit.
Paul, do you want to see this? USA changing their laws so that Clark Kent could be eligible for president of the United States.
No. Because
won't get approved.
superheroes, just like religion, should be separation of church and state. Should be separation of superheroes and state.
He's an illegal alien.
Look what happened when. Look
also
what happened in the
condemned.
Elseworld story when Superman became like a weapon of the president. It's not good. Not good idea.
What does Felicity think of USA going, you know what? Laws need to change. Ted Cruz, Clark can be eligible.
No. I think the same rules still need to apply. I think we just need to get better at choosing the people that we decide to put into that position. Let Clark Kent / Superman continue to be a superhero because we need those.
What about Eddie? Should the USA change the laws so that this illegal alien, like Rosales called him, could be eligible?
I mean, go ahead, I guess. I mean, if he wants to run for president or whatever, if not, he could just pull an injustice and just take everything over if it's that serious.
Now that I think of it, do they even need to change the laws? Because on paper, that boy is an American from Kansas when he was a baby. There's no freaking neighboring country, so there's no mystery of where did this boy come from. He is an American
He
citizen.
fell in America first.
No, those papers were falsified.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. He has to be born an American citizen.
He has to be
But he
natural.
fell
born
on
on
American
American
soil. Wait a
According
minute.
He was not
those-
born on American soil. He
The
was
papers
not,
are all you need. The papers are there. They indicate
they
his
were
Americanness.
falsified. You know what
They can't
happens when you
prove it.
falsify birth records?
Clark
All the
Kent-
nuts come out of the woodwork.
Clark
He
Kent
caught.
They can't prove it.
because
Bruce
of
Wayne
that.
went in there and hacked a database. They can't prove it.
He's not
Bruce
that
Wayne has
desperate
a
to
database.
become president. He would not, forego the rules just to get the
But
position.
not only that, he wouldn't.
Release the
he
birth
wouldn't
certificate.
be president.
Release it. Release the birth certificate. You're going to get a bunch of people just asking for his birth certificate. They're going to know it's falsified. Rosales is right. He'd fail. And then everyone would know he's a liar. And Superman is not about, he's not about governments, man. That's the one thing they did get right at the end of Man of Steel, is that he is not about getting involved in man's political stupidity.
He's really
above
about
that.
truth, justice, and the
above that.
Krypton way, right? That's how it goes?
Exactly. Kryptonian.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not how it goes.
But the thing is, if he's president, how's he going to get to be Superman? Like Clark wouldn't actually
He's fast.
try to be president. It wouldn't make any sense to him.
Look, plus Lois would be a horrible first lady. Okay.
She's a military brat, right? That's all I know about her.
Yeah, she's
The hero with the... Sorry, did you go get out?
No, I'm saying she is a military brat. You're right.
What do you think about this? Because we know Batman and Superman will have the most movies, unless we disagree on that, but that's concrete. Who's going to get the third most movies coming out of DCU?
I feel like the Green Lantern. Whoever it might be. I feel like
What's the name of James Gunn's wife?
I can hope for that, K-Dots. I'd hope that that's true. I don't know if that's going to be true because he's getting a television show, but like I would hope that it was Green Lantern because there's so much to do in the cool.
Oh God, yeah, open up that can of worms.
There's so much to do, and then there's so much crossover events too. Like Darkest Night would be an amazing. Like 15 years to see a Darkest Night would be amazing.
well, I'm looking at
Is this your answer, Rosales?
Yeah.
Peacemaker.
She's going to have the most appearances in DC movies and TV shows than any other person in history.
Wonder why.
Peacemaker deserves it, man. He's the GOAT. Bro's a hero. National
I
treasure.
mean, look, honestly, it's Hollywood. It's full of nepotism. I don't understand why people are focused so much on why he cast his brother and his wife in so much stuff. Actually, he cast a lot of the same actors, over the course of his career. So it's not just,
Like his brother and his wife.
Yeah, it's other people. So
Yeah, but no, hang on. There's a lot of directors that do this. Nolan does it. So does I forget his name. The guy that directed Terminators.
Cameron?
Cameron. Yeah, James Cameron does
You
it.
forgot
They all
James
pick-
Cameron's name?
The guy that did,
Well, that's because he's irrelevant now. All he's doing is making Avatar sequels.
the director of Resident Evil kept hiring his wife.
Paul? I guess we lost him for the stream.
He's like
Look at that.
Ridley Scott. He just should have known when to give up. It's like there's this old interview with Quentin Tarantino where he says a director should know when they should stop making movies. Ridley Scott and James Cameron have forgotten that rule.
What about Francis Ford Coppola?
Checks. So, you know,
Coppola doesn't believe in that.
somebody worth the pay, they'll take the job.
But yeah, my point is that they all have their actors they pick. Nolan always picks the same actors to be in his movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so does Sam Raimi.
Oh, the
Sam
one
Raimi-
guy.
Yeah. No, his brother. He hires his brother and
always shows up
Bruce
Bruce
Campbell.
Oh, the guy who did
Quentin does the same thing too.
Yes.
the guy that did Resident Evil kept hiring his wife.
Hmm.
And Spike Lee always puts Spike Lee in his movies.
Yeah.
We're at question number 11. It's true or false. All I want is a one-word answer, Jaded Fanboy. Superman Legacy was a good name.
True, I guess. I mean,
Eddie, was Superman Legacy. That was a good name. True or false?
I guess I'll say true.
You're so unsure about it. K-Dot, true or false?
True.
True. Is true. Paul?
Yeah, true.
Okay. Rosales?
False.
All right. Felicity?
I'll say true because I don't have another, title in mind. So
There's only one person here sitting with us who said the word false. And then Toshiro also gave us a false also. Explain that one just for me. Just
I
quickly
will explain it for you. Absolutely, I'll explain it for you.
Okay.
Because this is the beginning of a brand new thing. It is not a legacy coming from the other series of movies. So it is not the Superman legacy that's continuing, especially if he's going in a totally different direction with Superman. And I think him creating a Superman that is gracious and soft with people and gentle and truly on the autistic spectrum to account for all of these things is absolutely wonderful. And it's totally a totally brand new. So it's not a part of the original legacy. It's something brand new. So Superman should be Superman and not Superman Legacy.
That's a good answer. Yeah. I think I changed my answer.
Wait, Rosales, quick question. Do you think so? Good reason. But do you think they should use the name later for another Superman movie in the universe?
Sure.
Like down the line, like 10 years later. Okay.
So it's a good movie name. It's not a good movie name for this movie.
That's
True.
Yes. You were speaking about this particular movie in particular. You did not mean as a whole in general in future reference.
It's not that serious, Rosales. Yes, that's okay. Answer this: true or false? The Shazam suit had padded muscles.
True.
True.
Absolutely true.
First one for sure. Yeah, true. I mean, most superhero suits have padded muscle, but true. Yes, the first movie suit was
Unanimous. Felicity?
yes, it had padded muscles. True.
Did you see Sean Levy try to convince us?
I mean, Hollywood always tries to convince you of stuff. You just don't believe them. You believe your eyes. You believe what you can see, not what they tell you.
Exactly. Jaded Fanboy, I didn't hear you yet. Shazam had padded muscles, right?
I'd say true, but I didn't really care.
It is what it is. Jaded, Henry Cavill is still salty.
Of what?
The recast and like the new universe.
Why would he? With what little I've known to see him do, I did not even get that impression. So I would have to say false. I didn't even know it was salty at all.
What does Felicity say about her favorite?
I say false. I think he's a professional, even when other people are not. I think he's a true fan, of properties. When other people are not, it kind of is what it is. He'll go with the flow. He'll show up in Marvel stuff. He'll show up in DC if James Gunn asks him again if he thinks it's right. So I don't think he is. False.
Eddie?
I could kind of see him being mad and upset about this. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, just going by the timeline of things, Just League 2017, where they did the reshoots and they had to do that ugly CGI thing with his face. Then he was waiting years to come back. Just for them to bring him back, just for them to say never mind, and then him to look stupid appearing after so many years. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, I know I would be mad since it's like it's the company's fault that they wasted your potential as Superman.
Yep.
And the fact that you had a verbal agreement and you had a meeting to for them to tell you that you have a future, just for like the new DC studios had to say no, we're not bringing you back. Like, get out of here, man. It's like, damn,
it doesn't mean he doesn't
that's crazy.
understand. It doesn't mean he's not upset. Like he's salty. I'm saying he's not fuming. He's not ready to bash and do a whole campaign against Warner Brothers. He's salty. And I keep seeing this guy over here nod his head and shake his head. He is salty.
I think he's more salty about The Witcher than he is about Superman.
Agreed.
Yes. He actually cared about The Witcher source material, and that's why he quit it. And they wanted to change that source material. The fact that he was on board from Man of Steel, he didn't care about Superman source material because that movie isn't Superman. Neither is the following two movies. They're even worse. They're not Superman. And I think it was a way for him to get out. It's not his fault that The Rock said that he owned DC basically and could make them do whatever he wanted. That's The Rock's fault. And if Henry Cavill believed that, that's his stupidity. Hopefully he learned a humbling experience in two things here. Don't listen to anything The Rock says, and don't ever work with Warner Brothers ever again. That's what
brings us to question number 14. The Rock is still salty.
Hell yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yes, true.
Sure.
Okay, it's The Rock. I couldn't care less if he's salty or not. Doesn't mean anything to me.
I thought you were gonna say, well, salt is a rock, so yes, true. Sodium chloride.
True.
Okay, I'm sorry. He's still the Hawaiian wrestler, as far as I'm concerned.
He's so salty.
It's super true. He's like 10 salt mines. Does Rosales want to join?
I don't think The Rock is salty about anything because he just moves on to the next conquering project. He was able to muscle his way into the WWE and the board of directors, and almost screwed up WrestleMania with the things that they had put in his contracts. And you can tell what they put in his contracts because he did have a WrestleMania main event. He did get a belt, even though it was handed to him at someplace else, and he did win a match. So he got three things that were probably put in his contract when he comes back, along with the chair at the table. So no, he's not salty. He didn't get to take over Warner Brothers. That's too bad. He didn't get to take over the Fast and Furious. That's too bad. He got something. And now he's going after Disney with Moana and their movie. And so he's going to get a piece of the pie there because they've got to switch their contract from television series to movie, and he's got them over a barrel.
In this next one, we're all going to answer it together, okay? And wait, shout out to Biko. He jumped into having a football league and wrestling while having a higher grossing DC film than the anointed Flash film. Discovery is salty. Number 15, everyone together. True or false? Dr. Fate is more popular than Zatanna. False.
True.
False.
That's actually super true. That's like ultra true.
Zatanna?
If you're talking about movie fans, then it's true. If you're talking about comic book or animation fans, then it's false.
Yeah.
Go to a convention.
Yeah, and you're talking about people who only know Dr. Fate from a particular movie. That's it.
Yeah,
what they're talking.
Are we talking about movies or are we talking about comics?
Chill means popular in
General. Yeah.
So Zatanna's more popular. I mean, as of now,
she's more popular in the Superman universe, sure.
Hold on. That would be like going. Ask everybody if the Guardians of the Galaxy is popular before the movie came out, and you would have gone, "Who the heck is the Guardians of the Galaxy?" Then once the Guardians of the Galaxy,
talking in general, so we have to account for movies, comics, animation, everything.
Just because someone's popular to cosplay doesn't mean that they're popular as a character.
Yes,
Yeah,
it does.
It does.
Bro, these chicks are
Yes,
looking
it
for
does.
any reason to get their shit out on display so they can get famous. Are you serious right now? What do you think people cosplay as? Like,
What is
characters
fame
from
other
anime?
than
Look at it like this. Look at it like this, right?
Are you talking about Zatanna or Fate?
I'll ask it
People
again.
dressing up.
True or false? Dr. Fate is more popular than Zatanna.
Yes.
True?
yes,
Yes.
Dr. Fate is from the origins, DC origins. He's like one of the original characters.
it's like a golden age.
Yeah, he's golden age.
60, 80, 70 years.
Zatanna is like a third level character in the Superman universe. That's what she is. She's like, because she can do
a pair of
magic,
fish
she can
net
stop Superman.
stockings.
Yeah,
closest
and she,
everybody knows
yeah,
about
she's
the-
sexy.
Right, but
That's it. Like
currently-
that's her
currently who's
popularity.
more popular. That's the thing. Currently, who's more popular?
Okay, hold on. How do they know Zatanna? Because what? She tried to be Constantine's girlfriend for a couple of episodes and tried to be
Young
Batman.
Justice.
Tried to be
And
Batman's-
from what I see, especially on Twitter, amongst people that actually read comics and talk about it, I see more conversation about Zatanna than I do Dr. Fate. And Dr. Fate does not get used often in these stories and stuff. Let's be real. Dr. Fate is
not the real one.
Dr. Fate is one of the most wasted DC characters at this current moment.
But that's because Zatanna's a hot chick. That's the reason there's so many.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, hey,
Who do you think is more popular at the moment? Poison Ivy? Harley Quinn or Batman? If you go to a convention.
No, it's still Batman. Come on now. I don't care. It's still Batman.
No, but you just go to a convention. There's
No,
a bunch of chicks walking around. Just
By your
Harley
bone,
Quinn.
man.
Harley
It's gotta
Quinn,
be,
Harley Quinn is way more popular than Zatanna. Look, the thing is, who talked about more? She is. It's just who talked about more, who are people engaging with more, and they're engaging more with Zatanna. I mean, that's just what it is at the moment. That could change if Dr. Fate gets promoted more.
And that's why it's false.
After the movie came out, everybody was talking about how amazing Dr. Fate was.
It's the only scene in the movie that's good.
So months after the Black Adam movie came out, everybody was going, "Oh, give Dr. Fate his own movie." People who didn't even know
movie is not enough to
hold on. People
propel
who
Dr.
didn't know
Fate to his
who Dr. Fate
popularity.
was, people who didn't know who Dr. Fate was, after just seeing one movie, went, "Give Dr. Fate a movie."
Mhm.
So he was popular for that because why? Nobody knew who he was.
He was popular for that particular moment when Black Adam came out.
How
Okay.
many people have been saying give Zatanna her own movie?
It is. There's
That'll bomb so hard. It'll
might
bomb
bomb, I know.
immediately.
Steve, we're asking the question of who is more popular. We're saying true or false, Dr. Fate is more popular than Zatanna. And I want to hear Felicity because I don't think I did hear you when we all answered together. Who was more popular?
No, I do agree. I think that the Dr. Fate is probably more popular because of the movie and because it was Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan brings a lot of cachet to a movie, so he's got a lot of fans. So look, I know who Zatanna is, mostly from the DCAU, but I don't care. But I'm not a dude, so if you think she's hot, good for you. Like I said, we're all animals, and if that's your thing, then that's your thing. Pierce Brosnan can get it.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, Felicity. There's only 2 DC female characters that wear black knit stockings. I mean, come on. Chill. You're
Amanda Waller?
Amanda Waller wears fishnet stockings.
Sure.
Not.
Keeps her young.
Okay.
Wait, are you
Eddie.
just talking about a dream you had, Chill? Is it...
True or false, Edward? Gotham is a character.
True.
K-Dot?
true.
Felicity?
I would say true. It was the best character in the Batman for me.
Rosales?
I say it can be.
That means true. Jaded Fanboy?
False.
And Paul?
Yeah, I'm with Jaded. It's
And I'm with
false.
you guys too. This is
It's
false.
a city.
It's a city. Let's not do that stuff.
This
guys.
whole Batman '89, it was a character. It's like, no, it wasn't. It was a city with backdrop. That's what it was.
Like, if we're actually being real, I know what we mean when we say Gotham was a character, and I've said that too, but it's not really a character. Let's stop doing that stuff.
I mean, obviously, but Gotham's at a point where it can literally, you can do something with it without Batman, and it can survive on its own. Joker, the Gotham.
Yeah,
TV.
you're right.
I didn't think the Gotham TV show was good, but a lot of people like
But Joker didn't really feature the city. Like Batman '89 at least featured the city.
Joker was all about Gotham. I mean, even the Gotham TV show, it like Batman wasn't even in it. They had Bruce Wayne, but that's not Batman there yet.
She wrote that it's a place, people, LOL. That reminds me of the Asgard line, and I get that.
It's a place, not a people. It's people, not a place or whatever.
Yeah, I understand that. It just doesn't apply for Gotham. Number 17, K-Dot. Every Perry White casting will be a race swap forever.
Well, last Perry White was black. This Perry White is black.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might be a consistent trend of him being black now. He's black in the My Adventures Superman. True.
Eddie?
I could kind of see it happening too. The previous one was a black man. This one will be a black man as well. Even the Superman cartoon, there's a black Barry White as well. So it's like it could be the norm going forward. I mean, I could care less, to be honest with you, but I could see it being the new norm.
I care very much, and I say this is false. Every Perry White casting will not be a black man. They'll not be race swapped forever. They will return to the standard that everyone's used to. And so all that little representation you guys think you're getting is going nowhere. Paul, true or false?
I'm going to go even further. I think every Perry White and every Gordon is going to be a race swap from now on.
Felicity?
The Perry White is not that crucial for me, so the castings have not been an issue as far as I'm concerned. So, probably false.
Thank you, Rosales.
Is he white? Is Perry White in the comics?
Correct.
Okay. As long as he is white, it'll be true. If they make Perry White black in the comic books, then it'll be false, because then it'll be that'll be canon.
So what do? They just reboot the entire comic book line, and they make it so that he was never actually white at all. This is
they've done that before.
Oh,
when's the last time DC rebooted though? How many years ago was that?
They were doing it every 5 years. Every time they rebooted the system.
They recently did a
2000,
not a reboot, but like a little rebrand thing in 2021. But I started releasing this Superman story. Let me see.
And the time before that was what? The 70s?
It was Rebirth. Rebirth is the most recent.
Before Rebirth, what was it?
New 52.
New 52.
Before New 52, what was it?
It was everything before Crisis.
Oh shoot! What was can't remember the DC.
Do you remember what year?
It was in the 90s.
Okay, so we go from the 90s, and then we go to New 52 and Rebirth, which happened in the 2010s.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't.
20 years. Every 20 years, DC Comics will just say, ignore everything you've learned. This brand new start.
That's exactly what they thought.
Well, then, yeah, you're right. You guys are all right.
But y'all have to remember, the movies could have so much influence that they just decide to make him black anyways.
Yeah.
Because, look, I mean, Harley Quinn introduced an animated stuff. Now she's a consistent comic book character. So a lot of the other media.
Look at Nick Fury.
Make it a thing. If they cast a black actor for the character, call him Perry Black.
Perry Black.
They got to commit.
Keep it Perry White. You got to throw people off.
True or false? Rosales. I like the way Flash burned calories. Is that true?
In the movie?
Yes, the film from last year in the summer. Great
Nothing
Ezra.
about that. No, I didn't like the way he ran. I didn't like the way he burned calories. I didn't like those plastic CGI babies.
Did you like the way he dressed?
No.
What about the way that they sneak dissed him?
No, I didn't like it. I don't like that.
If he catches flight, if never mind. I think Keda doesn't even get what I'm doing. I'm quoting Kendrick Lamar, okay? Eddie, true or false? I like the way that Flash burned calories.
Man, I don't even know how to answer that question, to be honest.
You saw the movie. Did you like it? He had a chocolate bar early on, you had to chew on that stuff. And then, now I can run fast. But it never came up later on in the movie.
To be honest, I just want to forget about Ezra Miller as a Flash. Like, I I just want to move on. I semi like the movie, but I can't anymore.
You abstain? Okay, let's go.
Erase that memory.
I'll say false, Joe. Yeah. They really didn't emphasize how he burns. It's implied, he runs and burns it off. They put emphasis on why he needs to take so much food, but it's false.
It's a
then
false.
He should have stole food from everybody every chance he got throughout the entire movie.
He should have went into people's homes.
Alice, he's a hero. All right, he can't steal. Come on.
He should have choked anyone who stopped him. He should have had the will of iron.
See, bad message. You guys are trying to teach children to steal food. See, evil panel of people.
Did everyone go?
They tried to do the thing like they did in the animated
series. And Batman obeys every single law
Or he doesn't.
Yep.
Where he tried to like eat and etc. But like again, that movie is just the story was good, but the Ezra Miller was bad.
I like the idea of him having to eat calories to be able to do it. It was establishing some form of weakness, so that way it was a way to establish that if he couldn't run all the time and he couldn't be as overly powerful as they had made him. I think it was a great idea to establish some kind of a weakness for him.
Established, but never bring up later on in the movie.
Yeah, it's just like Schrodinger's chocolate bar.
Yeah, because no other superhero movie does that. That's Flash was the only movie that ever did that. Flash was the only movie. Yeah.
So at the Batcave, right before he
chill.
went off to do the final fight, when he linked up with Sasha Kaye, Supergirl,
Yeah,
they were
but
having
chill.
a
Think
feast
about-
at the Batcave.
Yeah, think about doing that in the final fight. Like that would have been dumb. People would have been like, if he couldn't fight because like I need food in the third act, that's gonna be trash. You do that in the early acts of the movie, not the third act. No.
Then don't introduce it. The best Cyborg fits on a team is Justice League. Sorry, what am I trying to say here?
False.
The best Cyborg fit on a team is the Justice League, not the Teen Titans.
False.
False.
Dot.
False. You don't
Eddie.
ever put him over Manhunter or Green Lantern.
False.
I wonder if there's one human being on this planet who will say that this is true. I say it's false also.
Okay.
He should be on the Super Friends.
Oh, please.
Live chat, it's your turn. I'm waiting. 19. True or false?
Felicity answer.
No, I said false.
She said false.
Unanimous.
Yeah,
It
he
is.
should never have been in the Justice League movie. Ever.
So I'm waiting for someone to disappoint because it's never unanimous like that. Live chat, number 19. True or false? The best Cyborg fit on a team is the Justice League team. Let's go. Hurry up. There's 13 of you guys watching. Thank you all 13 for being here. What we got? Yes. Super Silver said yes. The question is true or false, not yes or no. So what does he mean by yes?
He's probably saying true.
That the best Cyborg fits on a team is the Justice League? Clarify that. Zatanna, true. Can we get off of Zatanna? I'm back from Google. I fixed Zatanna. We're good on Zatanna. We're okay. That was 3 questions ago. Okay. Dr. Fate is more popular than Zatanna. We had a discussion. But number 19, Cyborg, Justice League. Let's go. Doom Patrol.
No, he did not fit in Doom Patrol. That was not a good fit.
Yeah, it was kind of random.
I'm turning this into a private stream. We don't even need you guys. Number 20. What is the Watchtower screening process? Batman looks at everything you've ever done, and then he finally gets you. Oh, you're a scientist, eh? Let's see if you're an evil scientist. Batman has to check every report card and know exactly who you are, and then you're finally on the Watchtower. There's probably a good 100 staff members who are human who live on the Watchtower or who work at the Watchtower. They can't live there.
I mean,
Batman has to go through your shit. That's it.
I mean, the screening process isn't that strong because it took them a while to figure out Billy was an actual kid. So, you know.
But he's not. He's a superhero. They respect identities. This is for a human being.
But for them, they're assuming this is a grown man and not this actually a kid.
He didn't.
Why
know
wouldn't you? He's grown.
He may not have known he was a kid, but he knew how to stop him, and I think that's really the only thing right there. If Batman can figure out how to kill you, you can have a job with him.
Yeah, Tower Babel. Yep.
The Watchtower screening process was, are we promoting your comic in the next couple of months? Yes. Okay,
Yes.
you can be part of the team.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not asking you about superheroes. I'm talking about going to the Watchtower as a human being who's working on the computers. You're the IT guy. Maybe you're someone who's a manager, secretary.
Oh yeah, Batman deep states you, man. He knows everything about you with the back computer within seconds.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's got backup and cross-referencing, so that way if anything happens within 20
He's the
seconds.
world's greatest detective. Of course, he's going to know everything about you before you even
I've got
step on that
detailed
station.
files on everyone.
Exactly.
Well, him in the question.
Yeah. Maybe a psychic?
You have to go have coffee with Batman and Superman at the coffee shop, and how it should have ended.
Yeah, probably. Oh,
That's how they screen people.
He probably screens people with Manhunter, and Manhunter, didn't check your mind.
Yeah, he's the one who spends the most time up there.
Yeah, he probably screens people with Manhunter. Just go ahead, check their mind, and see if they have any ill intentions or whatever, or if they're legit.
Every week he does that. 21 K. Has David Corenswet said anything that stands out?
I've seen some stuff he acted in so far. I don't really watch a lot of interviews, but I did see this one interview. All I can say is this: he's not a really good Superman voice. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, Eddie, you ever heard David Corenswet in an interview reveal any sort of like nice kind of he's just like Henry, he cares? Have we ever felt good about something David Corenswet said?
He hasn't done a lot of interviews either.
Not really. He hasn't really done anything, to be honest. I mean, there's no negatives either, so that's a good thing. But like so far, he hasn't really said anything that stands out to me. So I mean, that's fine so far, I guess.
I'd see it the same way. Nothing really to stand out. He takes photos on Instagram with a comic book, but he hasn't said anything. Jaded fanboy.
I don't know who he is, so obviously he hasn't done anything to stand out.
The guy
He
on
was
the
one of the
thumbnail.
bad guys in Twister.
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't help. That doesn't help.
Jada didn't see Twister. He didn't make a video on it.
Felicity, do you think that the guy on the thumbnail of this video said anything that has stood out?
I have not heard anything, which I think has got to be a good thing. They need good press going into this movie. So as long as James Gunn can, lock it down from time to time, then I think they'll be fine.
Number
22, who would you cast for Wonder Woman? Millie Alcock?
I don't know yet. I'll be honest with you. That's the only person I cannot cast right now for the DCU. That's kind of hard because you want to find a female actor that actually gets the build. I'm not
what
saying
age?
Early 30s, late 20s. But that's kind of hard right now to pick out of all the female actors and all the choices I've seen. Trash, because I'm looking at can you get the build for it and can you act good too. This one's kind of hard. She's the hardest casting right now for me.
Paul?
I got one. Yeah, Alexandra Daddario. I
Too
cast
old.
her as Wonder Woman.
Nah,
She's not too old.
top heavy.
She's not 29, 29 years old.
I don't think she's too old. Look how old Old is. What are you saying? How old Superman?
Imagine
It's-
how big those golden wings have to be.
Huh.
That's a lot of chrome.
I'm looking
Gold
at
plated.
Alexandra.
She shouldn't need wings. James Gunn is going to make her fly properly with no wings.
It's her face. She looks too childish.
What?
No,
Nobody's wanting Sydney Sweeney?
She can play Black Cat. She can play Black Cat. That's it.
She's
She might
got
be
like
too young.
Okay.
Also, isn't she kind of short to play Wonder Woman?
Dude, he's 31.
That's the thing. It's hard to find a woman that's the right height, a good height.
Her voice is
Right.
not right. Sydney Sweeney is 26. Her birthday is in a couple days, so she's a 27-year-old. So yeah, maybe that is the right age, kind of. But Sydney Sweeney doesn't sound like Diana Prince. I don't want to hear her voice. If we all seen movies with her, she doesn't sound like the superhero type. You can't change
Dude,
that.
Alexandra Daddario doesn't look like she's 38. I would not say that. I think she has the perfect voice for her, and she's not too top heavy. She's just a good amount of top heavy, actually. She needs to fill out the suit, unlike the other actor who is a stick insect.
Paul, why do you think she's not too?
Okay.
A
I don't think she
38-year-old
Dude, I
in
don't
a
think she
film
looks too old.
universe
Dude,
where you're
I
about
don't
to
think
go for 2
we're talking about
decades
her age.
long.
Yeah, but you're talking
How
about
do
her
you
actual
go?
age.
I'm going to start with someone who's 38 when you're
You're
going to
talking
go
about
for
her
a really
age.
long time. It's going to
Chris
be
Evans
really.
did it. He didn't start in his 20s.
Chris Evans started in his 20s.
No, he didn't.
They also didn't foresee what Marvel movies would be and how long they go. They were like aiming for Avengers for 2012. They didn't really think like we'd still be here in the same continuity. Knowing that, they wouldn't have hired a 50-year-old. I mean, you know what I mean? They wouldn't have hired
He
older
was
actors.
30. He was in his 30s when he started with Captain America.
I'll take your word for it. Fine. He was 30 when they hired him.
This is for Felicity. This is for Felicity. The guys just explained what it means to be Wonder Woman. Does she fit in the suit? Is she the right age? And does she sound right? Can she act? irrelevant. It's Wonder Woman. She's eye candy. So you know what? Keep Gal.
Wonder Woman's eye candy, but you need to put a good actor behind that character. She is
No,
eye
you
candy.
don't. No, you
That's
don't.
not
We've
it.
already proven that with
That's
She's a
Gal.
demigod that punches people, man. That's what her job is.
No. This isn't Power Girl. This isn't Harley Quinn. This isn't the character you just look at. It needs to be a good character too.
Okay,
God, no. God, no.
counter you
No.
on this because
She was the
we're not
worst.
trying to win Oscars with these movies. So why does she need to be a good actor?
Ooh.
Wonder Woman needs to have needs to be acted by someone because she's the leading woman in DC.
All right, Kate, how much
She's a Justice League member. This
How much
character can be eye candy. She's going to be a waste then.
Kate, how much did the Wonder Woman movie make with Gal Gadot? What was that, like $1 billion?
Over 800 million.
Over 800 million.
Yeah.
Okay, so apparently nobody cared about her acting skills.
It wasn't the acting.
Wait. But the eye candy is not why the movie made that money.
What?
You think Wonder Woman made all that money because she looked good?
Was it the acting? Was it the story? What was it?
It is multiple factors: story, acting, how good she looks. It wasn't just because she looked good. If that's the case, then if that is the case, then fucking what's that? A lot of these female superhero movies should have been doing good, but they haven't. Captain Marvel was trash.
So
Birds of Prey was trash.
Are you saying that Gal Gadot is a good actress?
I never said she was a good actor. I'm saying you need to have a good actor playing the character that looks good, the right height, everything. You need a full package.
She's not the total package. She can't act.
Wait, because Wolverine because Hugh Jackman is the right height for Wolverine?
No, Jaded, you need a total package. Hugh Jackman is a good actor.
Please,
Okay.
no. I can't stand her.
Look, I'll be honest, nobody cares
No.
if Wolverine is short or tall. We just want a good actor that looks like Wolverine playing it. That's it. Hugh Jackman looks like Wolverine. He's a superb
Okay,
actor.
so apply that to Wonder Woman. We don't care how tall or short she is, as long as she's a good actress.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you find a good actress, cool. But what I'm saying is, what female actor right now is a good actor, eye candy that can play Wonder Woman?
No,
That's hard
she's
to find right
not.
now.
She's
Haley
not a good
Steinfeld.
actress. I watched her in Hawkeye. She's not a good actress. She's not. She's really bad. No.
She's capable and she can do Wonder Woman. Should
No,
Jensen
she doesn't
ankles
have the hang on. She doesn't have the body type. She doesn't have the voice, and she doesn't have the acting chops.
Even
She's
Paul agrees with me.
She doesn't have. She has.
nobody
none of
has the body
three.
type until you do the workouts.
Yeah, you got to do the workout.
Yeah, but she won't even still. She's too short as well. I'm telling you, she's not the right fit for this. Plus, she's already a young event. She's already a young Avenger. She's already a young Avenger. She's new Hawkeye because they're replacing them all with women. So she's new Hawkeye. That's what's going to happen in the next few years.
I got a suggestion. Zendaya.
Oh hell no! Hell no!
Bobby said it perfectly. This is Wonder Woman.
I know he hates her so much.
I don't
save
hate
money on
Zendaya.
wardrobe.
I just don't think she's as popular as Dr. Fate.
Oh, but Kate, just one last thing on this one. Okay, I think really what you need is a good director that can get that performance out of the actor, not necessarily somebody that can do, like Kate Blanchett type of, acting. I don't think you're going to get that. No actor really wants to be in a comic book movie anymore unless they're getting paid a crap ton of money.
I think they're probably going to find a foreign model to do the work.
Oh, this is
maybe French or
Movie's fun.
somebody with an accent, maybe somebody out of Greece, but somebody who's definitely over 6'5", and it's a little more shapely. I think that's what they're going to do. Is they're going to find somebody that they can get for multiple years under a multiple contract that's affordable. And
It's a woman
look
actor. It's
more like
affordable. You can do it.
They'll find some actress
fine.
that is in a Netflix movie that people like, and they'll cast her. That's what'll happen.
Yeah, I was just looking at some lists of actresses that are like between the ages of 25 and 29, and if they all seem to be from these old Nickelodeon shows and things like that. So they're all like they all still kind of look like kids, and 90% of them are under 5 foot, and they're just they're not it. Hollywood doesn't have it yet.
BJ Kicks, we don't have you for a long time, but who would you cast for Wonder Woman?
Oh, we're jumping right in. I have no idea. I had no idea what these questions were going to be. Who would I
Haley
cast?
Steinfeld is who we were throwing out there. Sydney Sweeney. Who else? What were we just saying earlier, guys?
I said keep Gal Gadot. It makes no difference.
I said Alexander Daddario because I think she has the voice, she has the body type, and she has the acting.
I'm gonna be real with you, dog. You could insert white woman here. I have no clue. I mean,
At least it's honest.
all these names, I'm like, sure, I don't. But for as often as I watch TV, I do like the current Wonder Woman. I guess, you know, I feel like you should find someone with at least a semi-exotic background, right? Like it shouldn't be like insert white woman here. Like, should it?
That's what the character is. That's what you get. Eddie says no. Why are you shaking your head? Were you like disagreeing with what we just said about it's a white woman actress, so character, you get a white woman?
I mean, in media, she's been portrayed that way, but obviously from the region she's from, and obviously the actual lore of the Greek gods and all that stuff, she obviously the actress should be from that type of background. And I think
Greece
that
is white.
Is it though?
you know what I mean.
Well,
But,
Well, Gal Gadot isn't white.
Eddie, are you really serious that the actor has to portray the same origin of the character in the comic?
no, I don't think
I'm more
that,
so
but
matching the skin tone.
Because I said it.
Gal Gadot looks
media-
Greek. And that makes sense.
In media,
Like,
she's been portrayed that way as white passing, but I'm pretty sure they'll probably go that route where they'll actually find something more of what the fans have been.
Might as well have
asking for
Daisy
online.
Ridley.
No way. She's got nothing up top. They'd have to help her, give like a couple training bras or something.
That's like casting Keira Knightley, man, and then drawing a little bit here.
It's like muscle padding. It'll be fine.
No wrestlers should be involved in the production of a movie.
Rhea Ripley is an Australian wrestler that's your
No.
countrywoman. Okay.
I disagree. Look what everything The Rock touches turns to ash. I don't want any wrestlers involved in any movies. Thank you.
Okay, yes.
But like, I mean, I don't know. It sounds like we're trying to communicate in two different standards, right? Like someone who can be Wonder Woman probably shouldn't necessarily be like a conventionally attractive, petite white lady, right? Like, is it believable that she can do the things that she supposedly is doing?
Is any of this believable? They fly. All you have to do is
Wait,
tell
hang
your
on.
actress,
Bring up a
go to the
picture.
gym, and you have a year to prepare for the role, protein and all that stuff, and we'll even make it you look buffer in post. It's not that hard. Like the way that people
No, just bring up a picture of Wonder Woman from the comics, Jill. She's not super buff. She's a
Sometimes.
demigod. That's her strength comes from being a demigod, not from going to the gym and pumping the iron. She's literally strong because she's a demigod. It's like
Yeah, it's like-
Superman.
Superman's a skinny guy. Superman's not exactly,
He's
the
not
Rock.
super strong. Yeah.
I mean, look how
Yeah. Even like,
a strong wind could blow her over.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. It's really not a lot of
She's not super buff. She's like, even look at that left one there, the wired one. She's like super. She's just skinny. She's got a little bit of muscle. That's it.
Yeah. See? Next question. Who's Katie M. O'Brien? Does anyone know who that is?
Oh, she was in The Mandalorian. No.
no.
How old is she? 35? I wouldn't start with a 35-year-old.
care.
I wouldn't start with a 35-year-old, no. Anna Taylor-Joy, I know who she is, and that's a no from me.
No.
Next question, 23. Who has the best Batcave?
There's only one answer to this. There's only one answer.
You're a boomer.
Fisher Price.
There's only one answer. And if you say anything other than that, you're wrong. I'm just telling you that right now. Go ahead.
Oh, we all have to go first, and then he'll tell us. Paul?
Because most of you already know.
It's the animated series Batman. He has the best Batcave.
The animated series, the 90s one?
Yes.
With the
He has the
nickel,
best Batcave.
with a penny in the back. Okay. Eddie,
Yeah.
who has the best Batcave that we've ever seen?
I'll go with the anime series as well.
Okay. BJ?
I tend to agree. I thought the question was really strictly live action, and I like the Nolan verse Batcave, but yeah.
Okay, what if we're only restricting it to live action, Jaded? Is it still the same answer?
If you're restricting
He's
it
gonna
to
say
live
Batman '89, dude. He's gonna say Batman '89.
and if we're sticking it, okay, first of all, if you're asking who had the best Batcave, Paul was right. It's the animated one. But if you're sticking to just a live action, there's only one option. And it's the Batman '89 one. Sorry, that's it. It's the best one.
It's the Bat who can't turn his neck.
So the one we saw in Flash, that's Michael Keaton's Batcave again.
The question wasn't who had the best Batman suit. The question was who had the best Batcave.
Oh, found it.
Can't get more live action than that.
It's a wonderful Batcave. Very intimidating.
Oh, that's a toy, not what was in the movie.
I'm telling you, my 4-year-old had the best Batcave,
Yeah.
and it was live action every day. So for about 3 weeks.
You gonna tell him he's wrong, Jaded fanboy? He's 4-year-old.
Yeah, why not? Because it's not a live action movie. Stick to the
Yeah,
top.
so it's out of the context. Yeah, no,
Didn't
I'm
say
gonna
movie.
agree.
Didn't say movie. Said live action, and that was live action.
I think BJ's right. The Nolan Batcave was really good. I really like that. I'm a fan of Batman Begins. That's my favorite Batman.
J-Dot, you're back. Who has the best Batcave?
Live action or in general?
In live action movies.
89 Batman.
Felicity?
Oh wow! I mean, this is not even something I've really even given that much thought to.
Exactly.
You know what? Initially, I would have said the Nolanverse Batman, but if I think about it, yeah, animated series is probably better.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I know the first Batman, they have a cool one. It's hard. It's between 89 and no. Because especially in the third movie, and he had that platform, the glass platform with his suit on it. Ooh, that was a good one. Dang, it's hard. It's between 89 and Nolan.
Not as hard as this question. Why does Kryptonite work? It's this green rock. It makes Superman weak. If he's from the planet Krypton, they call it Kryptonite. I don't know how something of a rock.
It was irradiated.
It's
That's why.
radiated, and yeah, it's
The
radiated.
explosion irradiated the planet. So it's the fact that Kryptonite is it's the irradiation of the rock. It's not the fact that it's from his home planet. It's the fact that it was irradiated
From the explosion, but also the radiation's interaction with the yellow sun has the opposite effect on Superman that the yellow sun has directly on his cells. So that's how Kryptonite works. Yeah,
Because it's from Krypton and you're native to it. Everyone else should be hurt from it worse than you're hurt from it, but that's not how it works. It works
no, it's only Kryptonians that are weakened by it because it's a rock that specifically targets their cells. Like it's the radiated version of it. It's a radiation that only affects Kryptonians.
That's all.
Does anyone actually like the Kryptonite rules?
Yeah, I think it's necessary for a character like Superman.
Oh,
I like the green. Hang on, I like the green Kryptonite rules. I don't like how they expanded on and made like all different colored Kryptonite, so we could all have the colors of the rainbow Kryptonite. I don't like that at all.
the pink Kryptonite is amazing. You have to love the pink Kryptonite.
So I like the original version that it was like a weakness to a god, basically. That's what it did. But then all these other ones that like make him go crazy horny or crazy whatever, like I don't like it.
I do like the red one. I think the only good one is the red one. Other than that, the rest are like just silly. But the red one is cool.
The radiation from our atmosphere. All right, guys. Everyone wants to be a scientist here. I think it's a stupid rule. And
Well, you gotta have some weakness. Joe.
Exactly.
He can have
He's
a
a
weakness.
god. He's
But
a
why?
god.
But why that the weakness is the Krypton planet itself is stupid.
So if you don't do that, if you
It's
don't
not
do
just
that,
Krypton. It would be different if the explosive chunk came straight from Krypton and there was nothing on it. Yeah, it would do nothing to him. It's the irradiation
It's
that's
a
happened
magical
from the explosion
stone.
that does it to him. Yeah.
I
and so
reject
if
the
you
irradiation.
take out Kryptonite, then what they would have to do with the character, which they do with probably some of these OP characters, that they either have to write them less make him incompetent to some degree, like they do with MCU Hulk and MCU Thor. Make them incompetent so they're not so strong, or that's the only other option.
There's other
Well,
options.
which worse? Is Lois Lane a better weakness than Kryptonite? Would that work better?
Nah, I can't always get away with that. She's a good weakness to use, but I always can't use that.
Listen, all women are kryptonite to all men. Come on. You don't have to keep them kryptonite. You just have to have. You just have
It's
to have.
actually true. You don't have to irradiate them either. They just come standard package weakness. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the character, but we'll see what they do with her in this new movie.
Jaded
Lois?
fanboy, I'm not gonna allow you to say something like that. Bye.
So, I mean, while we're having this super nerdy conversation, right? Like, so I'm in North Carolina, and I have a friend who had such bad allergies that he moved across the country, and moving across the country basically cured his allergy because it wasn't the same stuff in California as there is in North Carolina, like pollen and whatnot. I think it's entirely possible that something affects you one way in one location and not in another. So I think that answers why kryptonite bothers him, even though he's from Krypton.
That's real. That is totally real and true.
And it went in one ear and out the other. 25, Captain Marvel or Shazam? Shazam.
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
The problem with it being Shazam is that that's what he uses to turn on and off. So he can't tell people his superhero name, which is kind of dumb. So it should
You're
be
right.
Captain
You're
Marvel.
right.
Yeah, that's why I think it.
That's what they
If you
call them.
notice, he never says the superhero name once in the Shazam movies, because if he says it, if it's, hey, what's your superhero name? Shazam.
Yeah,
So-
but I would like to refer to him as Shazam. I don't care what he refers to himself as. I want the comic to always be named Shazam, and that's about it. Although
Oh, no, I'm not against the name. I'm just saying when it has to be used in the story too.
Yeah.
When he has to tell people who are you, I'm Shazam, he's going to turn back into Billy.
I will
Which is
say,
the
like,
problem.
yeah, like watching Justice League Unlimited, it does sound cool hearing other people address him as Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, like when I'm reading the book, it seems stupid that his name is Captain Marvel.
Because we know that there's a Marvel Comics already,
Yeah.
Marvel's it's too much ownership there. But what Kata told me about how, yeah, you can't actually say I'm Shazam because then you'll turn into your secret identity and that's it, or the other vice versa. It's just crazy. It won't work.
I think at some point they should probably either change his name to something different that sticks and works, or fight for them rights, because that's the problem with. I think they probably purposely in the comics avoid him trying to answer that question. What's your superhero name?
Yeah. Right now in the Mark Waid series, well, Mark Waid's not writing it anymore, but they refer to him as the Captain.
That works.
They chose the wrong name. They should have never made him go from Captain Marvel to Shazam. He could have been Captain Mary, Captain Magnificent, Captain something.
The
but no.
Captain is not a bad name though. I mean, he's the captain.
Captain Midnight.
I know a YouTuber who has that. What is that from?
That's from an old an old serial that used to play in Saturday morning in movie theaters back in the day. And they would have a guy who would say, Captain Midnight.
I gotta get a Stream Deck. That was amazing.
Rosales, control yourself with the Stream Deck, man. Taking it too far now.
Next question. After this stupid ass Captain Marvel discussion, hate that name. Anything stand out about Dr. Fate?
I'll say what stood out.
Talking about from the movie?
That dude in the movie was popping. That shit.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah,
He's a lot more
It's
popular
comic
than
accurate.
Zatanna, for one thing.
that's
Oh.
true. Absolutely. The fact we're talking about him twice in this list instead of Zatanna means he's more popular as well.
Chill, you messed up.
But yeah, like his suit was comic book accurate to the origins. Pierce Brosnan is something to talk about. I agree with Felicity. He brings like the crowds. That dude's a legend. When I saw he was cast as Dr. Fate, I wanted to see the movie. I didn't see the movie because it's it's garbage dumpster fire, and I didn't want to spend money on that. But I did watch the scene that he's in, and that is the greatest thing about that movie. Yeah, Dr. Fate's amazing.
Just
Next.
about anybody could be Dr. Fate. That's something that stands out. If the helmet chooses them.
Yeah.
Sound like somebody was.
So what stood out is, yes, the James Bond actor came in, did his thing. But it's a shiny suit, yes, we give him that. But I feel like if I say anything more, you're gonna try to use this against me for my Zatanna opinion. And so I'm not gonna do that. We're jumping over to question number 27. 27, Felicity, why isn't Supergirl Latina again?
I mean, it's an unfortunate thing that actress was in that movie as Supergirl, Sasha Calle. She didn't do a bad job. She was by far not the worst thing in the movie. So I would not have minded seeing her again. However, it seems like they were kind of set on just restarting everything. And Millie Alcock, I don't think you can go wrong with that. When she was cast, I was like, yes, House of the Dragon, come on. Rhaenyra Targaryen.
And she's going to go to the gym and bulk up. But the question is not about anything but the Supergirl being
because
Latina.
Supergirl is white with blonde hair. That is why. Because the legacy character is white with blonde hair.
So then why did they make Supergirl Latina the first time around with the Sasha Calle actress?
Because she was an illegal alien.
Diversity is our
How
strength.
we have the
Diversity is our
same
strength.
problem that we've always had, and that there's a lack of representation of Latina superheroes. I don't care what she looks like in this comic book. We know.
No, I think I'm just saying. I think that's the only reason she was. The director probably seen her from this comic because
No, it wasn't. It's because Warner Brothers, and I heard Michael B. Jordan talk about it.
Yeah,
They've got
they wanted
this
diversity.
fulfillment of your cast needs to have enough of this, enough of that, enough of that. And they were like, "Oh, we're not doing enough, so that's why we're going to cast this girl." Everyone, representation.
I don't think
It's
it was
not
that. They would've gave her a
representation
bigger role
because
in
it's
the
not.
film.
It's not representation because it's not everlasting. Just because you got a Latino actress for this role this one time, you fulfilled a movie quota. You did not introduce into the pop culture zeitgeist a Latina character, and that's why we like Jaime Reyes.
How is that the definition of representation?
It's because it's attendance if it's not. If it's just like when Human Torch was being played by Michael B, or when Michael Clark Duncan would played, what's his name? Kingpin. It was like, oh great, this is it. He's on screen, but like it doesn't last.
Yeah,
we
but
have
like
the same amount of good.
Like a representative, right, is someone who stands in for a group for a particular time, right? Like
No, not for a particular time. That's my argument. It's because there's always a ending expiration.
Yeah, no, I understand your argument. I'm arguing against your argument, right? Like, so, because like just in any other format, to be a representative means, as of right now, I represent this idea, this tribe, this group, whatever, right? Like people we elect to Congress, they're sitting in for this session of Congress, and right now, they represent the interests of this state, right? In a couple of years, a couple of sessions, the interests are different. The representative, hopefully, is different. But I'm in America, so congressmen never leave; they just die. But
characters don't.
Characters absolutely die. Like the idea of these characters, some of these characters have been here forever. But how many characters?
Like Black Panther.
Don't do that. Don't get that man started. But I just don't know that I agree that in order for it to count as representation, it has to now be the standard that is upheld for eternity, right? Like for as long as there is a Justice League, there must be a black person on the Justice League, or else everything that happened with a black person on the Justice League wasn't representation. Like that isn't.
All right, then if I just change the word representation to add the word
lasting.
Let me go. Lasting representation. Then we're not arguing the same thing anymore. So pretend everything I said earlier didn't just say representation. Pretend I said everlasting representation compared to temporary representation.
So
okay, well, I'm sorry. Let me jump in just for a minute here. To be fair, The Flash was started under Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers Discovery came in and, had to kind of deal with what was already set up. So this was, a hand-me-down situation. And number two, she was really an Elseworlds Supergirl in the movie.
Yeah.
Meaning for the Elseworlds take, we can do a little something different.
Basically, that's what
That's
happened.
the point. So that's why that the Supergirl wasn't Latina again, and they got Millie Alcock to play her. Okay. Good. There's the answer. Anyone want to touch this one?
No, I agree with Chill.
Thank you.
I do agree.
So, do you think Jon Stewart is everlasting representation?
Yes.
What do you think? I think.
I think Chill will agree with me when I say yes. He's everlasting representation.
Chill will not agree with you.
Because James Gunn is only in charge of the DC studio thing for now. When that next chairman, CEO, president is in charge of DC, he's gonna be like, I don't want to be like the other.
Oh no, I think what Gonzalez is saying.
What I
is
want to
that
do is I want to make my own Green Lantern my choice, and Hal Jordan's gonna be my choice because I grew up on him and I saw the movies with him and I loved Hal Jordan. And so, is he going to be lasting? His position being the primary Green Lantern of the franchise is only enjoy this movie, this TV show coming out. Enjoy his film. Enjoy his role in the Justice League crossover movie. Have fun with Jon Stewart now. It's not going to be the case after James Gunn is not in charge anymore.
Yeah, but I think what Rosales was saying was that Jon Stewart is an eternal character in the comics. He's an eternal character. He is a Green Lantern, like he is set up as Green Lantern.
Then in that way, you're right.
So it doesn't, they can draw on that and they can bring him into the universe and they can have him and he's eternally there, right? Yes. I actually agree with that take though, from whatever fantasy executive that is. I think Hal Jordan should be first because he is the first Green Lantern. But I have no problem with John.
First Green Lantern.
Well, Alan Scott, yeah, but Hal Jordan is the populist choice. And I think that the only thing that made Jon Stewart really come to the forefront is the Justice League animated series. So
which
a lot
is
of
the most popular
90s
depiction of a Green Lantern in media.
I think in animated media you might be correct, but Hal Jordan certainly takes the cake when it comes to comic books.
There's no reasoning with these Jon Stewart fans. It's like they ignore the 17-year gap after Justice League Unlimited, where he was not selected in the New 52 cartoons, in the Ryan Reynolds movie, in the TV show called Green Lantern, right? Oh, Jon Stewart's
Hal Jordan is the populist figure. And I think that if we're going to do a movie with the Justice League, we'll have to have Hal Jordan be set up first. I have no problem with Jon Stewart coming along later and taking over that mantle permanently, right, to fix Chill's issue permanently after Hal Jordan moves on. But I still think Hal should come first. And but when it comes to, I agree with you. When it comes to this, there's a quota. They fulfilled that quota by doing an Elseworld story. They stuck a Latina chick in there to play Supergirl. We're not going to see a Latina again. We're going to see traditional Supergirl because the legacy character doesn't really work with Jon Stewart because he's already a fixed character in DC. But I do agree. It's like plucking Hal Jordan out and then making him black for DC Universe. That's kind of like what they've done for an Elseworld story. And that's kind of like what they've done with this Latina Supergirl. I don't have any problem with her. She was not by far not the worst part of that film, Ezra Miller was. But I agree with you, Chill. That's why I've gone back to blonde because that's who Supergirl is in the comics. She's a blonde girl. That's a white girl. That's who she is.
Same thing's happening with Perry White. Of course, you like the white guy more. That is not what he meant. No, boo, Nerdman, boo.
Boo, yeah.
Put a chick in it and make her Latina. I think that's a South Park reference. I get that.
So Chill. Let me ask you this, right? To your point of lasting representation, right? Does that not mean that no black character can really be lasting representation except Black Panther?
I don't know where you got that from.
Well, so if your point was, right, the next executive can swap him out, blah, 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 right? So any character that we're going to argue should be forefront, right? That's already happened to. We don't really have static represented in media. outside of the cartoon. Black Lightning can barely keep a comic series in a rotation, right? Like all the people.
Let's keep it movies though.
Okay, well then movies, it's just Black Panther.
Okay, and that's the problem, is that we have many famous superheroes, and the only one, the most famous one, is Black Panther. But before 2016, who really knew who Black Panther was? So it's possible to uplift a character. We agree there. I'm for DC selecting a character, anyone but Jon Stewart, like Mr. Terrific, and going, this guy will be really important and will show the audience that when the heroes save the day and they're all standing side by side, Superman is in the middle, Batman is to the right, and Wonder Woman is to the left. But that next tier, that guy right next to him, it can be Static, it could be Black Lightning, it could be Vixen, it could be who cares? I just want that. And I want them to work hard on making it so that DC isn't this company of a bunch of white superheroes. We can have part of the team that saves the day. There's a very important guy. And when the franchise reboots, you cast that character again, just like we always cast Superman, Clark Kent, just like we always do that. So I'm looking for the reoccurring, everlasting representation.
So in your Justice League, who is the Black member?
I'm open to anyone. If it's my choice, though, I love Static the most. So I would work a way to do that. But I'll choose anyone.
Static can't be on the Justice League.
Fine.
Static has a bedtime.
Fine. No, fine. Icon.
Icon, you want another Superman.
Yeah, everyone's another Superman. Everyone can fly and punch and everything.
Dude, that's not going. That Icon.
Fine. No, but I don't think you heard me,
Paul
Paul and BJ. I said anyone. I'll take anyone. So if those
Except for
characters
Jon
don't work
Stewart.
for you, find a unique enough character. I said Vixen. Do
Wait.
you have problems with Vixen?
I got a question for you,
Jon Stewart is unique
Why not
enough.
Jon Stewart, man? Why not Jon?
Because-
He is a permanent DC character.
No,
He's a
but
permanent black character.
I told you the issue is that James Gunn cares about Jon Stewart. Next guy won't.
You don't think that would alienate the entire audience if you put a Jon Stewart in the universe for like 3 or 4 movies? And
I
then
think
like,
you're
oh, what do you
pretending
get?
to.
We're gonna make him a
I
white
think
guy
you're
now.
pretending. You don't think alienating? You're pretending 2005 didn't happen. He was in the Justice League. We know how popular that was. They alienated then. They'll alienate again.
Wait, hang
What?
on. You're talking about, dude, it's one of the most popular animated series of all time.
And they made a Green fucking Lantern cartoon starring Hal Jordan.
Yeah, because Hal Jordan's a
3 in a
popular
row.
character too. It doesn't have to be either or, man. They can exist together. That's the problem.
He
It's
wasn't
like,
in that
I think-
cartoon.
but they can exist together. They have existed in medium together.
I think it's wild to be upset that other Green Lanterns can have a show.
They can have a show. That is the reason why the premier black character in DC shouldn't be Jon Stewart, because when these other black superheroes who actually don't have to take a pause and take a chill pill for the Hal Jordan thing, when these other black characters are being pitched, the executives will be like, "No, we're already doing a black character." Look around at the way Warner Brothers works. How many spots go to a black, like a melanated or anyone who's not white role? How much times do they give $100 million budgets to any person who's not a white guy? And you want to waste that on Jon Stewart, who's going to be on the bench for 20 years after James Gunn? He's going to be on the bench. That's the character you want to be uplifting? I'm saying let's not even use him at all.
I think the problem with this idea of representation, specifically on the Justice League, is that traditionally the black characters have been treated as if they are for a wholly different audience, right? And so no matter which black character you insert on the Justice League, there is a white character that fills that role better, right? If you
Not my
want
problem.
if you want Mr. Terrific, well, Bruce Wayne's already super smart tech guy, strategist, and he's richer, right? You want Icon, he's got the same powers as Superman, right? At least with Green Lantern, the powers come from the ring. And so if you swap them out, it doesn't really matter that you've swapped them out. And so you might as well just leave Jon Stewart there because he's different enough from Superman and everyone else. Vixen doesn't need to be on the same team as a Wonder Woman. I can keep going with all these different black people except Jon
You'll
Stewart.
find one eventually. You'll find one.
Cyborg doesn't make sense to be there.
You'll find one. There will be that one. And you're using a storyline reason to
But
to challenge what I'm speaking on, and what I'm saying has nothing to do with the storyline or that a ring can be taken off and you give it to someone else. It's not what I'm not looking at the diversity of power set at all.
No, but here's the thing, though, Chill. I mean, this is your story on John Stewart. You knew about John Stewart before you knew about Hal Jordan. Okay, and if you had fans that are fans of Green Lantern that are your age, when they see John Stewart in live action, they are going to do things to their pants that no one should say on your YouTube channel.
Temporarily, they will. And
the thing
I would
is
tell them the last
if
17 years existed.
If the outcry is there, they may see the green in the Green Lantern and keep him there.
It wasn't there for this.
I know about these movies because I own them. I have children, and the Green Lantern series of movies that came out after the Justice League Unlimited with the Hal Jordan. All of that is very, very true. However, just because it is true doesn't mean it has to stay true, and changes can be made if there is enough people following it and not expecting its downfall and doom. So you can create your whole situation where they go back to Hal Jordan simply because you've talked enough people into not supporting John Stewart.
I don't have that much pull where I can talk people down.
I will say John Stewart is the black hero that has the most staying power at DC.
For now, that could easily be changed. I'm sorry to interrupt you, BJ.
It can't that easily be changed, or it would have been changed.
Yeah, a whole generation grew up with John Stewart as the
Green
Lantern.
What effort did you see fail where they tried to make another premier black character and put money behind him and put him for 5 years on a Justice League TV show? It can change. It's possible to make another popular character in DC whose skin is dark. It doesn't have to be John Stewart. And the lead that John Stewart has isn't that high. Isn't that much.
Who's in second place?
I don't know, but it's a distant second place. But it can be done because Black Panther was a nobody to the general audience.
What?
Did I go bad?
If the general audience grew up on Justice League
that.
Unlimited, that's not true.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't think Black Panther was a nobody to the general audience until that movie.
Well, he was insignificant enough for me for the sake of this conversation. He was outside of the top 10 superheroes. Can we say that? Fine. That's what I mean. It's not like, I don't know. I think it's a stupid point to say like, never mind, bro. We're good. We're good on this topic. Someone said BJ Kicks Vixen is different. Although she doesn't have many comic runs, she has enough to make a movie trilogy from, and she's nothing like Wonder Woman, actually. I agree with your point in general. I think anyone can make a movie trilogy, but what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. You can definitely have a movie trilogy with Vixen. You can have a movie trilogy with any of these characters. What we were talking about was putting those characters on a Justice League that already pre-exists as 7 white people and a Martian. So it's like, who is Vixen going to replace on that team?
I think any team can comprise of anybody, and it's
not the Justice League. It's just like the Avengers can't just comprise of anybody. Like
I've seen the Avengers comprise of anybody all the time, but Justice League feels like you got to have those big 3, and then
you have to have the
Green
Trinity
Lantern.
in it. Absolutely, that's the Justice League. It is the Trinity. They are the center. Like you can't do Justice if you do Justice League without them. It's pointless. It's not Justice League. This is legacy. Like, but the additions to the Trinity. That's what BJ's talking about, and I agree. I don't think like I think putting John Stewart, as much as I love Hal Jordan, like John Stewart is like known. He's so well known.
He's not that well known where it has to be him or anyone else would be a loss, because we've had Green Lanterns without him, and it was always a Hal Jordan.
I can tell you the truth. I think that if they put Hal Jordan in the Justice League, or they did a Hal Jordan movie, right, and John Stewart was not on the table of like being talked about, like either coming in or being in that movie, I think you'd find a lot of people who grew up with that animated series would be very disappointed in that. I guarantee, Chill, if they casted John Stewart tomorrow in a Green Lantern film, if James Gunn was like, we're happy to announce John Stewart, Green Lantern,
that's
I
where
tell
it's
you
going.
the truth, you'll have you will have Twitter will be on fire with that. They'll be like, yes. And it won't be because, it won't be Black Twitter, diversity is our strength Twitter. It'll be all of Twitter because everyone knows who Jon Stewart is.
You're ignoring the 17 years again. You're belittling how many people grew up on Hal Jordan. That's what you're doing here because of 5 years of Justice League, which wasn't even his. He wasn't leading. He was 1/7 of that team. When it's actually
but we only take our grandchildren.
When Green Lantern is in the forefront, it's not Jon Stewart. It's never been that way. We're talking about Super Friends cartoons for the kids. If we're talking about a lot of things like numbers numerically, there are more fans of the Hal Jordan who have
those people are
Jordan.
dying of old age.
We also don't have to guess. Like it happened.
What Rosales just did. Sorry, BJ, but what Rosales just said, they're dying of old age. You're ignoring the 17 years after Justice League Unlimited.
In the 17 years after Justice League Unlimited, we had a Green Lantern animated series that lasted 1 season, a whole bunch of nothingness on the media front, and the Jeff Johns run of Green Lantern, which, by the way, ended due to poor sales because Hal Jordan.
Comics don't matter. Comics don't factor because it's only 20,000 units selling. Like, but that's not the.
So if the comics don't factor and the only movie featuring Hal Jordan failed, and Justice League Unlimited was beamed into millions of households weekly, how I don't understand where the point is that Hal Jordan is the guy.
Because I'm saying that it was Hal Jordan who got a movie was enough. That it was him on the posters everywhere. That publicity, whether you watched the movie and liked it or not.
So even though the movie failed, Hal's the guy.
Even though the movie was critically bombed, Hal, it was the guy who they selected. Hal was the guy who millions of people globally have accepted to be the main. That's who they pushed. That's who Warner Brothers liked. And if they liked him in 2011, even with Jon Stewart's popularity, they'll like him again.
You said accepted, but the movie didn't do well. So, like, did millions of people accept Hal Jordan or did they not?
I think I said Warner Brothers accepted.
You said millions of people accept. You said Warner Brothers chose him.
Okay.
And millions of people accepted him.
Meaning when they saw a poster on the bus stop, when they saw a trailer, when they saw it was registered in their mind that Hal Jordan is the Green Lantern. It's a white dude.
As far as I know, general consensus when that movie came out was, who's this white guy? I thought Jon Stewart was Green Lantern.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. I remember that. And I was like, that's Hal Jordan. I had to explain to people who Hal Jordan was. I was like, that's the first Green Lantern of Earth.
And I'm telling you, that's when the lead changed from Jon Stewart popularity back to Hal Jordan popularity overall.
That movie was internationally panned and it was rubbish. Even Ryan Reynolds rubbished it himself. It devalued Hal Jordan as a character, and Jon Stewart remained because he was still popular from the animated series. And the people that grew up on that animated series showed their kids the animated series, so they grew up on Jon Stewart as well. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Chill. People show their kids stuff that they enjoyed, like Batman the Animated Series. I show that's what Batman is to me. I show that to my kid. They see that as Batman. I show them Justice League Unlimited. They're like, who's this Green Lantern? I'm like, that's Jon Stewart, the Green Lantern. They grew up with that Green Lantern. They love that Green Lantern. They want to see that Green Lantern in a movie.
That's a good point. I just can't say how many kids were shown because we don't have that. But all right. Number 28 of 33 burning DCU questions. Who is a superhero you don't want to see in the DCU? Jon Stewart, Green Lantern. Next. BJ?
Who do I not want to see? I don't care to see Deathstroke.
Well, that's a hot take.
Oh,
wow.
It's not even that I don't.
Damn.
My point is, I don't mind not seeing Deathstroke.
Okay.
Right? Like, I don't necessarily need the Teen Titans. Like, just give me good Justice League for the next 5 years, and then we can branch out after that.
Gosh, I'm hurt because you know what? That was the only thing that I was actually looking forward to, was that Ben Affleck directed Batman movie with him versus Deathstroke. That was the only thing I was looking forward to in the Snyderverse. And we're never going to get that. And that was like a dagger. Like, that was like a dagger.
If it was still the Snyderverse, I do not mind Deathstroke at all. That would have worked really well in that world to me.
Wow, you just blew my mind right there. Now I have to think on the question a little bit more.
What do you think of Booster Gold?
You know what? I wouldn't mind seeing Booster Gold.
Plastic.
I think they were trying to float it that maybe Glenn Powell, like he's a new kid on the block that everybody yes, we love him. He's showing up in all these movies. That was something that was talked about. Chris Pratt, I think, was floated out there too. So I wouldn't mind seeing him. I don't think I have a person that I just definitely don't want to see at this point.
Oh, I know. Jason Todd.
That might.
I don't want to see Hal Jordan.
I don't want to see Jason Todd at all.
Thanks for joining me, JKX, for the stream. Appreciate the time that you had. He's got a busy life. He's got a channel. I know he was doing an interview just before he hopped on here.
No Green Lanterns, apparently. I don't want to see any Green Lanterns in the universe.
Is K-Dot back? No. Rosales, you here? Batmite?
Batmite. I do not want to see a Batmite in real life. No.
We got introducing the Nerd Man, sir. Tell me a superhero you don't want to see. You said Booster Gold?
Well, look, Booster Gold, I know they a lot of fans.
We need gain. You got to pick up your gain.
Is this a prison call?
Your audio is weird.
Your mic is low, man.
You got to speak into your mic. To be honest, I don't think I want to see Batman. I really do not like him. What? You're not ever getting that.
Wow.
Yeah, that wasn't me.
How's the audio?
Now you're
there.
good.
You go. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, it's better. Okay, thanks. Yeah, the other one is Plastic Man, though. This one keeps coming up. It keeps coming up weirdly. People just keep going, yeah, like every time you see like DCU is gonna do a Plastic Man series, and like people like, yeah, and I'm like, what? Why? So that's my one.
That would be an error of judgment, considering that they're doing Fantastic Four. Like, they do not want to do a character that directly copies Marvel. So close together. Are you muted, Chill?
That's
Chill,
why they changed Kamala.
muted.
They changed Kamala.
That is exactly why they changed Kamala. Exactly why they made her worse. Yes.
Would Cyborg care about Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl, Felicity?
Well, I don't. So,
Would the football playing superhero Cyborg care?
Sure, probably.
Teen Titans Go Cyborg would.
Do you think he's a fan of Kendrick Lamar? Do you think he plays it on his like MP3 player?
In his head, he just plays it internally.
Everybody played it. Victor Stone was working out.
You ain't like us.
He's just bopping along in his room in his head. Yeah.
So he's like, "Oh, I love the Super Bowl. They got it right. Thanks, Jay-Z." He cares.
I think
you just want us to praise Kendrick Lamar. Is that what you want to say?
I think they all do. I think the whole Justice League do. By the way, I can't see the name of the guy next to me.
His name is Hal.
BJ Kick. Hal, you've been spitting some facts, sir. You've been spitting some facts. But
So
I will be on your side, Killmonger.
Salty. Is that going to be the next question, Chill?
Is Chillmonger still salty about?
If I was salty, I would do something like change people's names on their things, and I would never do something like that. 30. Wait, did you answer, BJ? Hal? Did you answer?
What was the question?
About would Cyborg care that Kendrick Lamar is at the Super Bowl in New Orleans, or he's like one of those "let's gotta be Lil Wayne" type of people?
Cyborg strikes me as someone who's listening to whatever is hype. Cyborg is the LeBron of the group, right? Like when Drake is popping, Cyborg is like, "Oh, I'm Team Drake." When Kendrick's popping, other way around.
What do you, given what you were saying before, what do you think of Cyborg on the Justice League team, BJ?
Cyborg's powers don't make. So
They don't fit, right?
To me, they don't fit
because of Batman, right? He just becomes kind of like Batman's, an extension of Batman's utility belt. It's like Batman tells him what to do with his powers. It's true though.
It really just depends, right, on how much agency Cyborg has, right? Like the power set is different enough. He's got the whole mother box thing, like so he can tap into like some cosmic things. Like it's not just US tech based stuff. But he's also a jock. So it's like, does he even know how to use those powers? Or is he going to get to, like you said, just being an extension of Batman's utility?
Well, I think there's two ways they do it. It's either they make Batman trash because it's like, well, you're the tech guy, but there's like a super tech guy now who can do anything with technology. Or alternatively, they kind of make Batman like, it's like he's super Robin or something, like he has like a complete tech gadget like that can do anything. So I don't think it quite works. I think what you were saying about skill sets, and also just like who's Cyborg's villain, where's his city, where's his myth?
His dad is the villain.
His dad is the villain. Yeah, that's true. I actually do think I know this is controversial.
The selection committee for the NFL, that's his villain.
Yeah. I know
look who joins the stream. Look who just jumps on 1 minute after the election debate is over, Mike.
I thought I heard some ridiculousness from Trump, but you and your Jon Stewart slander takes the cake. Like I'm so over your narrative, your agenda against a black Green Lantern. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it is.
Yeah, you do know what it is because I tell you all the time.
No.
There's a black Green Lantern. And there's a black Green Lantern, but the problem will be proven, and everything I'm warning you guys against is happening in 20 years from now. You'll see that we've got a lot of Green Lanterns. So let's profile.
Jon Stewart is the second greatest.
I can
Jon Stewart is the second greatest.
Muted. When the Green Lantern decision, like every time there's a new Green Lantern project, who are we going to use? Because it's like a group. Sometimes it's not going to be Jon Stewart, and that maybe costs like
when
5
my
years.
hand goes up, you stop talking.
You get it too, Rosales. Everyone's getting it. You can be on screen. You're all muted. Look, we have to understand that this position, the Green Lantern thing, allows for other people to be there. And because black representation is so urgent to the need to have such a high-profile character who's got dark skin, it just really sucks that we're always going to have breaks from this character, and it's not going to be continual. Kind of like how there's always a Spider-Man and there's always a Superman cartoon. There's a reason why those guys are so popular. The Jon Stewart stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes he'll be
there. I'm
there.
going to agree with you there, Chillmonger.
Everyone's going to agree with me when it comes to 5 years from now.
No, I'll agree with you. There's no way. I don't think there is any real way that in future Jon Stewart is going to be seen as the Green Lantern. The thing that I always think with you though that is kind of missing from this equation is usually, yes, it's true, like with Batman or Superman, you swap them in for a black version of them. It's kind of just weird. It doesn't make sense. But there's an inbuilt reason within the Green Lantern mythology why you can do both Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, and it still kind of makes sense because they're like the police, because they're a police force. And Kyle Rayner, I'd love to see Kyle Rayner.
Jon Stewart is the third greatest Green Lantern behind Chip and Nort. Okay, understand that. And
Mike, you want to participate in this? You got to answer the questions. Number 30. How would you, Mike, from Rogue Comics, how would you get Batman to break his no kills rule?
I would lock him in a room with Nerdman and have him listen to Nerdman talk for at least 20 minutes, and then Batman will kill himself, okay? And that will take care of his no kill rule.
Next up, Nerdman.
I'd get Zack Snyder to direct him.
Well, that's
God.
Either or.
That's the way to do it.
That's all we need. K-Dot. K-Dot puts thought into these. K-Dot. How would you get Batman to break his no kills rule? See that? That's the. I'm thinking about this. What would I do?
Don't say it.
Either that or he's finishing a spicy chicken sandwich.
Yeah, you give that.
Chill. I got an answer. Who? I got an answer.
I know what he's going to say.
This is going to be thick. It is going to be vile. Prepare your ears for this. All right. So this is what I would do, but this is me coming from the perspective if I was a villain. So I'm gonna go, hey Joker, or Victor Zsasz. Hey Victor Zsasz. There's this little boy named Dick Grayson, right? He stays at this address. Do what you want to do. And good luck.
What does Victor Zsasz want to do with this little boy?
I mean, he likes to cut up people. He likes to, I don't know. He's not gonna eat him.
Very wow.
Next does BJ Kicks with how are we going to get Batman to break his no-kill rule?
You asked the question, I answered.
You give him Damian as a Robin.
Yeah, that's how you do it. That's a good answer.
No, you got to. No, here's how he does it.
Right, that's how you make me kill myself.
He finds out Talia al Ghul tricked him. That's not actually his kid. He goes after Talia.
Does it count if he gets mind like tricked or whatever? Like,
nah,
he's got to do it from his own will.
He's got to do it from his own will.
I don't know. I would have been, and I wrote the question. I would have been open for that.
I know how you do it. I know how you do it. My one's going to be better than yours.
I want to answer. I know how to do it. I know how to do it. Yeah. What you do is you get Zack Snyder to direct him, and you just say, he just says it's cool, and then that's what happens. Ben Affleck kills somebody, and he's like, "That's cool," and that's a wrap. That's how you do it.
Actual answer.
Thank you.
And it's inbuilt within the DC universe. So you get Malefic, who is the twin brother of Martian Manhunter, to put the virus that wiped out all the Martians onto Earth. And then, but only like give the cure to one like little girl or something like that, right? Like one, I don't know, like somebody vulnerable or whatever. And then you get him to wipe out the whole Earth, right? So, and everyone's dead.
Fine.
Apart from Batman.
Dead. How he's going to break his kill rule?
No, everyone's dead apart from this person that he's protecting, right? Like maybe it's a disabled person or something. I don't know what it is, right?
Oh my God.
And then, wait, but then Malefic sends in like the white Martians or whatever, and it becomes like this apocalyptic world where Batman realizes there is no way it will do. The person will suffer more living in this world with nobody in it and everything's dead than actually, than actually trying to protect them through this world. Like literally, there's just nothing left for this person, and the best thing. The most humane thing to do is to kill them.
Thank you for the creativity. I disagree that I don't think he would go there. I think he'd always believe that there was something that could happen to change in this world. I think he wouldn't just.
I changed my mind. Mike was correct because after hearing that, I want to kill myself. So Batman will kill himself in the room.
Listening to John, listening to me.
You get two villains to come together: the Scarecrow and any other one. Make Scarecrow the silent partner, and have whatever caper go down at a 5K run. And then you hit the Batman with the fear toxin so that he believes that all of the runners are zombies. And he takes down.
That's tricking him, right? That's not really.
It's tricking him into killing voluntarily all of the zombies that he sees. Because they're not really dead in his eyes. I mean, they're not really alive in his eyes, and so all he has to do is take them down with shots to the head, and so he murders 100 people.
The gray area there.
I think if he thinks they're undead, then he thinks or they're dead, then that doesn't count.
You make him think that he's not breaking his rule, thereby breaking his rule.
Yeah, again,
that's the best
scenario we have. The rule willingly. That's the point.
So does Felicity have anything to beat that from Rosales?
I mean, look, make it as close to in universe as you could. Hey, and I'll even make it fun. Let's get Poison Ivy involved. She comes up with a concoction. She gets together with Harley, because Harley's sick of the Joker shit. And they get Batman to kill the Joker, and then they make out. The guys would love it.
What if he's wearing rubber lips? What if she's wearing rubber lips? She wouldn't. No.
That's true. That's a fact right there.
Okay, number 31. Are you worried about Joker 2? This is a serious question. This actually has to do with the Rotten Tomatoes. Critics are saying this movie's not. That's not saying much. It made $1 billion the first time. It's the sequel. Joaquin Phoenix won the Oscar, so you would think the audience is going to show up even without the Rotten Tomatoes, even without the critical reception. Are you worried about Joker 2? Chillmonger is not worried about Joker 2. Lady Gaga and Harley Quinn is a combination that people are curious about. The first movie's audience is going to come back. Not me. I don't really care for it, but majority of people. So I'm not. And I hope everyone else is probably thinking the same way I'm thinking. Paul?
Do you mean about box office or quality?
Both. Quality and box office.
I am worried about Joker 2. I'm worried that this movie is going to be successful and they'll make more of them.
Then you're not worried.
The Batman, which is why the Joker exists, because of the Batman. Like, this is stupid. I'm so tired of this. I'm tired of these standalone villain movies. They're doing a Sony-verse thing where they're making villain movies like Kraven the Hunter without the actual hero that fights them. This is stupid.
But Paul,
I don't like it.
However, it's not stopping them from making Batman movies because we still have that coming next year, and we have James Gunn rebooting Batman movies.
But then Joaquin Phoenix isn't playing Joker in those movies, is he? So we're gonna have a whole nother Joker. Like, this is stupid. I don't like it. Okay, I am worried because I'm worried that it's going to be popular because people like my fiance are going to go watch it and go, yeah, it's a musical, DC musical. We'll make a dozen more of these because it's super. It makes $1 billion and everyone's like, Warner Brothers does then. They're like, let's make a musical out of like Deathstroke, and we have Deathstroke dancing on stage. Like, I do not want these movies. I told you at the beginning of this, I want a standard DC universe where these heroes are taken straight from their panels.
You're not answering the question. Are you worried about Joker 2?
Yes, I am worried about Joker 2. You're
worried about what it will come after that. You're not worried that
worried it's going to be successful. I am worried that it's going to be successful.
All right, next one up.
Yeah, I'm apathetic to the success of Joker 2. I felt like the first one was great. It was a great movie. It was a great exploration of how someone might be turned into a Joker, right? Cool. It was out of continuity from the beginning. As far as I knew, it was standalone, and I didn't need more of it. And so, I mean, I guess the only thing that I'm like, that would be disappointing, because the dude that's doing Joker and Joker 2 is supposedly doing Spawn. I want to see what a new live action Spawn would look like. If this bombs, that makes the chances of that even more slim. And if I'm real, I feel like those chances were super slim anyway. So, I'm, I guess, tangentially worried about Spawn. But even that, like, it's not crazy how on my priorities list. I'm just curious to see what it looks like. So,
Mike?
Mike? Okay.
There's a lag, so you probably should have just continued. Go ahead.
Me or Mike?
Nerd Mansion, go ahead.
Okay. I wasn't worried until what Paul said, and it's kind of actually true. I would hate for this to be super successful and like Hollywood to be like, you know what? Superhero musicals. This is what's been missing, But going back to like all seriousness, I really think at this point with Rotten Tomatoes and with like all these critics and stuff like that, 50% is not what people think it is. 50% just means you're either going to like the movie or you're not, right? Like you're either really going to like it or you're really not going to like it. I think it means that the movie actually is a little bit challenging, and some people just aren't there for that challenge, and some people are. I think if a movie gets like 20 or 10%, then you're probably looking at a pretty crappy movie. Something gets 100%, it's probably quite generic, meaning it didn't offend anybody. I think it's those movies that are between like 50 to like 80% that are actually the good movies. So in some ways, or at least, you know, like the challenging movies that, you know, like have something to say. So in that sense, I'm pretty sure that this movie has something to say and might be interesting, and I'm not worried about it in that sense, but I think the box office is going to reflect poorly.
Comics are dope. You're on your way out. Let them know where to find you.
Comics Are Dope on YouTube, the Comics Are Dope podcast on all the audio platforms, or comicsaredope.com.
Yes, sir. Thanks for coming.
No problem.
Bye-bye.
That was great. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, you sounded southern.
Bye-bye.
Y'all take care now, you hear? What you, Felicity, what you think about this movie here? Joker 2?
I don't really care about this movie, quite frankly. But this is what I'll say. It was concerning because it's 4 times the original budget. Now they've got Lady Gaga in it, and I mean, she's an Oscar winner, so she's going to command a pretty good salary.
She won?
Yeah.
Did she win? I thought she was just nominated.
I believe she won for that remake. But she might have won for a song or something like that. But
Okay.
anyway,
A Star Is Born.
yeah, Star Is Born. Yeah, that's it. It's a musical, which is very challenging because you can very rarely make that work. So I think that they saddled themselves with a lot of problems from the outset. It has to make $1 billion, but I don't think it will.
Yeah, I don't.
I got it making 600 million.
Maybe. I
Yeah,
just
I
think
don't think
people
it'll make
are.
that.
I think DC's in the shit like at the moment. Like
Yes,
really, I
he's
don't
right.
think anyone cares, honestly.
Yeah.
And then people aren't even going to cinemas anyway. Like this year, it's like been a dry year for cinema altogether. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
Eric?
the initial budget was like 50 million,
And
and
this
now
one-
it's like 200 million. So that's 4 times.
It's 4 times. Next question.
Oh wait, I wanted Mike to actually answer that question. I thought, is he back?
Yeah, Mike didn't answer.
I never
Yeah.
went.
Okay. Now's your chance.
No, I'm not, because this is going to crash and burn, and then we'll never have to hear from this stupid series again. Although I do have to say, honestly, truly, when I did see the trailer, I did kind of want to go see it, but I didn't buy any tickets, so I'm not going to.
Ooh, you're not going to put the sign on the store. We're closed today. Sorry for the
I'm-
inconvenience.
No,
I'm-
I mean, I
I'm-
think it was just, honestly, Lady Gaga that did it.
Mm.
I just think, I don't know.
She's no Jenna Ortega.
Yeah. I'm kind of the one thing
Well-
I'm kind of annoyed at by is that they did this whole movie where he's turning into the Joker, and then I'm seeing Arthur Fleck again. I don't want to see Arthur Fleck at all. in
But I
this
am-
second movie. I want to see the Joker. He's now the Joker. That's what
Yeah.
I expected. You know.
I could also agree that if this happens to do well, then there will be a run of superhero musicals, as Paul and Nerdman said, because that's similar to what they did with Deadpool. When the first Deadpool came out and it made as much money as it did, James Gunn even came out and said that, Hollywood isn't going to learn anything. They're going to think that just making an R-rated superhero movie means that, it'll do a lot of money. And it was the effort that Ryan Reynolds and everybody else that made that movie put into that movie that made it that good. Because then look what happened. We got that shitty movie Logan, where they were just like, hey, we want an old British dude to say fuck 3 or 4 times because that'll give us an R rating and we'll be able to do money. And that's exactly what happened with that trash movie. That was garbage, man.
The
So
fact
they
that
made
Nerdman
one
agrees
R-rated
with you,
movie,
Mike,
and they
that's
all
the- that
Hollywood
should be
learned a
worried.
lesson.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike.
Wasn't Watchmen R-rated also, though? Hollywood
It
learned the
was.
lesson there.
It was.
Yeah,
But
but it
no-
didn't
but
blow up.
That was based on an R-rated property.
It didn't make so much money.
And
so
honestly,
the Kick-Ass,
and
Kick-Ass
honestly,
was really good.
that was an R-rated graphic novel. It wasn't something like, you know, like if they took My Little Pony and decided to make it R-rated by having like I don't know the ponies' names or whatever, start swearing and having graphic sex on the screen or whatever, you know, to get that R rating.
That's some weird fanfic.
That is what they would do. That is what they would do. That is what Hollywood would do if they saw this movie do good. They'd be like, oh, you know what? We need a musical. Let's get a musical. Get somebody. Get Hugh Jackman. Deadpool. They'll do a Deadpool musical. That'll be next.
Yeah.
They'll throw money at Hugh Jackman. Wolverine sing.
I expect
the only
Joker
reason this movie is going to bring people is because of Lady Gaga. I tell you the truth. My fiance, when we first were sitting in the theater, she was like sitting next to me, and the trailer came on. And she says, "Oh, Lady Gaga," and I was like, and she's like, "I like the first Joker." There it is. The common audience. That's who it is. They like the first Joker. Lady Gaga. That's what's going to bring the crowd into this movie. And I tell you the truth, if it's popular, we are going to get the superhero extravaganza. We're going to see these people on stage dancing in their little. I'm telling you, we're going to get.
We're not going to make Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
We're going to get, if you know the meme at the start of Hawkeye, where they're watching the Avengers on stage. That's what we're going to get. We're going to get that for real, though. These characters are going to be doing this for real.
Rogers the musical? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
Steve Rogers the musical. That's what the comeback from Captain America will be. Chris Evans starring.
Oh my god.
Nerdman, I didn't know this. Kick-Ass didn't do well. The budget was 30 million. Yeah. The worldwide gross was 96 million. Like I thought this was like a hit.
Was that the first one or the second one?
First one.
Yeah,
I went to see it. I thought it was good.
I mean, it was break even. Basically.
It was.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a huge success. Maybe DVD sales, and maybe that's how they made their money.
I don't think so. I just think it didn't make money.
It just was really super popular. Yeah.
Speaking of Gaga, did you know that? Go ahead.
It came out too early. I think if it had ridden the actual superhero like boom, like after Iron Man or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. I agree.
We knew about Beetlejuice. There was a Beetlejuice question earlier on the stream. If you were here, huh? Okay. But you were not here. Okay, should have been here.
Wow.
Yes, Beetlejuice. Everyone should see that movie. I saw it last night. It's fantastic.
Question number 33 of 33 burning DC questions.
Wait, what was the Shazam one? Oh,
I clicked the wrong thing by accident. I clicked something by accident. We're at 32. Not 33. How much should that's not that funny. People make mistakes. How much should the Reeve family get paid for that documentary? Christopher Reeve died. They made a documentary about him. They call him Superman, the story of Christopher Reeve.
Well, they were paid. They're in the documentary.
How much should they be paid?
But they agreed to whatever they were paid, right?
And what is the correct... They did agree to it. Yes. Now, how much is the right way? How much should a family member who is giving the permission for all the footage to be used, providing some photos, being a member of the documentary as a panel, what do you think is the correct compensation for someone who does that? I guess it also depends on how much the thing makes, obviously. And if this is going to go on Max, which it is on Max, isn't it? It's not a TV show. If it goes on Max, they need to hear how many viewers there are, and they need to find them on money. They need to say every viewer is worth 3 cents. So that they have to find a number. That's the number I would.
Wait, wouldn't they approach them? They said, "We'll pay you this much to be in this documentary." They signed on the dotted line and said, "Yes, we will." And then they made the documentary. It doesn't matter how much it makes on Max; they've already been paid.
Okay, that's a good answer. It should be. So what is the number? Like they agreed to it, whatever it was.
I was saying.
It was 3.
It would be different if they weren't in the documentary. If they just went ahead and did the documentary without them, then
it was the 3 kids that was in the documentary, correct?
Yes.
His 2 sons and the daughter. So $1 million each.
I don't think that's $1 million role. I think that's way too high. How do you justify $1 million?
How do you not justify it? What's your reason? What is your reason for not wanting to pay them $1 million each?
No, you said the million, so you have to prove it.
I don't have to prove it. I answered the question. You asked me how much. I answered the question.
But how much and why? See, you guys don't, you can't see, but it actually says in invisible ink.
And
why?
Because they need the pub. They are trying to you know, tie it into the movie. It's called Superman Legacy. Chris Reeve is part of the legacy of Superman. In many people's eyes, he's probably the best Superman that we've had. So, you know, that's what that is. That's why they're getting $1 million each.
There's an ethical reason. There's an ethical reason that most documentary filmmakers have for not paying people that appear in the documentary series, because it could show bias one way or the other towards the filmmakers and what they're doing. So my guess is that the family participated in this without being paid.
Oh, I doubt that.
But they had to be paid for you to use your family member, and you got the rights to that. Like, you're the estate. You forget that they're members of the documentary. If they weren't speaking at the documentary and they were just neutral, you still got to pay these guys. And I think $1 million is too much, because what? Really, $1 million? But
can I answer to Rosales' thing?
Yeah, but I was midway.
Obviously, it's about their father, so they're going to be biased. They already know that going into the documentary.
True.
It's not like
it's about the filmmakers.
It's not about the Israel-Gaza war or something, right? Like where you don't want to pay people because you don't want them to be biased to your point of view. This is a film about their dad. It's celebrating their dad. So obviously,
but it's not a home movie either. It's a documentary series.
I think,
and the documentary filmmakers are the ones who are going to be questioned whether or not they paid their sources to say what they had to say. They consider themselves more journalists than anything else, and their journalistic integrity is going to be questioned if they're paying people to say things.
It depends. I mean, if Christopher Reeve had some kind of dark history of, you know, where it's uncovered that, you know, his children were on drugs, or he was beating them as kids or something like that, where it would make a difference, then yeah, but by all, you know, from everything we know, his kids were pretty happy with him. So
Netflix documentaries, they don't pay anybody to be in those things.
I get what you're saying. And I'm saying usually if it was on a topic, a particular issue, but when you're covering the life of a person who's just beloved, but also their family actually clearly likes them as well.
You're talking about a system that is in place that doesn't get changed on the subject matter. You're trying to change the idea of how a thing is made simply by the subject matter that it is. And it's not the system. It's the way that it is. You know, it's very important that for people to have their journalistic integrities, and the filmmakers who do documentaries want to be taken seriously.
Journalistic integrity? Are they trying to uncover something about Christopher Reeve? Is there some kind
tell
of
the story
discovery that we're trying to get about Christopher? Like if a quarter way through filming, like one of the kids were like, oh, you know, he's not what we think he was, you know, or something like that, then maybe there would be like, oh, there's a better documentary here. Then maybe we should not, you know, like we should change the way we're doing this. But this is clearly a love letter to Christopher Reeves and his time as Superman. So, you know, the only reason for, you know, this documentary possibly being popular, I don't know if it will be, is because of the success Christopher Reeve had as Superman. There's no other reason. You know, if you did this about another 70s superhero
you wouldn't question whether or not people were
show,
telling the truth because they were being paid or not.
Why would you question the children telling the truth? Maybe if you're talking about
who got paid to talk
outside
about
of the
something
family.
else. I would definitely question the integrity of anybody who would ask for money to talk about a subject, or film somebody or pay somebody to do that. So yes, I mean, most documentary filmmakers don't pay their subjects.
So I imagine that they're going to do that with people who aren't in the family. This is about Christopher Reeve.
Yes,
right?
and you're
Christopher
imagining
Reeve
that
is their
paid
father.
these
They are using Christopher Reeve in terms of his
yes, but I'm talking
not
about the process of
in terms
filming.
of his brand to sell this movie.
I'm talking about the
So
process of
as
filming.
they are the estate of Christopher Reeve.
They
They
don't
are the holders of the
people
estate of
that are
Christopher
in
Reeve. So obviously they're
documentaries.
going to be paid for the movie. Yeah, but
Documentary
you're not
filmmakers
listening.
do not pay. You're
You're
not
not
listening.
listening. No, you're not listening. You're not listening.
No.
If you're doing a
It does not
movie,
matter. Your point is moot. Who they are is moot. They don't pay people to
it's
be
not
in
moot at all.
documentaries.
It's not moot at all. They are
Absolutely.
basically when Christopher Reeve probably died, he left his estate to his children. If they want to make a film about Christopher Reeve or Elvis Presley or anybody else, the children are going to get the money from that, from the proceeds. It would be different if it was done as a non-profit documentary, right? If it's just going to be put on if it's going to be put on PBS or something like that. But this is I think they're putting it in cinemas, right?
I don't know.
Is that correct? It's coming out in cinemas, Paul? No, he's not listening anymore. Okay. Paul, does anyone know if it's coming out in cinemas? No one's off.
I think it's going on Max.
Yeah, it's not coming out in the cinema. But either way, even on Max, it's going to make Max money if people are that big a fan of the old Superman series and subscribe because of that. So, yeah, it's a movie made for profit. They're the estate of Christopher Reeve, so they're going to get paid. It's clear.
They're going to be paid for the licensing rights to use some of the materials, but they're not going to pay the people that they interview.
Okay, how much should they be paid for those licensing rights?
Right, exactly.
That is a different subject altogether.
That's actually the question, though. How much should they be paid for the doc? Like, whether they're part of it as guests or whether they're part of it as we just need to get permission. They show up at the door. Hi, we're Warner Brothers. We want to do something with Christopher Reeve. They go, okay, you want to do something? How much should we pay you? I don't think they start with 1 million. But I think they'll go, well, think about it. Look where you guys live. The bills that you need to pay. We can give each one of you. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that if they're using private films of Christopher Reeve with his kids and everything else that are coming from the estate, they're going to license the right to use those things. Okay. If they're using things from Warner Brothers, they're going to license them from Warner Brothers. Okay. For the Superman movies and things like that. Even if it's in-house and Warner Brothers is the ones producing it, they still have to account for funds and transfer things back and forth within the budgets. When it comes to
I think it depends on the success. I really do. You can't quantify it until you see the success of the thing.
Well, the show wouldn't be made.
That's really hilarious to me. Sorry.
I'm sorry, but we'll pay you as soon as we know how much we're going to get.
Yeah, exactly.
No. They have to get an upfront payment. I'm not saying they don't get an upfront payment, obviously, for licensing the things. But if this thing kicks off and is the biggest one of the biggest documentaries ever,
they'll have some words in there that says,
like
we got to get taken care of. If this thing is huge, if it reaches this much viewership, we're entitled to a bonus, and so that makes sense to me. But the number I'm looking,
guys, how about this? They had one parent who was paralyzed and died from complications of that, and they had one parent who died from cancer. So donate the money to charity. How about that?
Nah, I need that money. I have the rights to this, and I'm gonna afford you this. You get to get viewership. You get to have all the publicity because you love Christopher Reeve. You guys are gonna. We allowing you to do this helps you, the studio. We're entitled to something, and I think that it's in the thousands of dollars. I think it's in the 100,000s. I'd say because of how many people have Max.
I could see $1 million if depending on how successful it is.
Each family member with $1 million.
I could see that.
No, it's not going to go to the family members. It's going to go to the trust, the Christopher Reeve Trust.
Who does the trust go to?
The trust goes to I don't know. I don't work there.
Probably the family members, right?
Whoever the executor of the estate is, which is probably one of the kids.
Well, the executor gets to decide where the money goes.
I need to change the wording again. Not the Reeve family, the executor of the trust.
Yeah, but an executor is just a person who will distribute the money the way that Reeve said that the money should be distributed. It's not that
the lawyers are getting most of the money, if anything.
Is K-Dot back? Is Mike back? Is Paul back?
I never went anywhere. I'm just listening to your man's nonsense.
You just listen to the nonsense.
Me when I ask a question.
We're on the final question of 33 burning DC questions. The panel has assembled. We appreciate everyone for being here. Felicity's channel is Fans Shot First. She was the first one here. Okay. We got K-Dot who joined us also. We got Mike. We got Paul. There he is. Jada Fanboy was in here. BJ Kicks was in here from Comics Are Dope. Rosales Comics. And Nerdman is Hot Takes Tuesday. The final question of this illustrious stream. What is the biggest mistake DC Studios has made? They're brand new. They've been alive for like a year and a half, and we know that they've done mistakes. I think the biggest mistake was also the biggest blessing. James Gunn on Twitter and giving all these updates and stuff. What the way he started, where he was like, Henry Cavill, that's too old. Then they got David Corenswet, who's already 31, I think he is. That was a mistake. They should have used a better reason for why Henry Cavill wasn't going to work out, because Henry Cavill was still kind of young. That was it. Other than that, I've been fine. Like, he's communicating fine with me, but that first way, the way it began, and the way he wanted to wiggle out.
Why does he need to give a reason? Like, he wanted to change him. So what? He didn't want to be tied into that crap Snyder universe. Like,
that is the reason, though. You just said it. I didn't want to be tied.
But why does
he
have to? But he doesn't have to explain himself. Screw that.
And he chose to explain himself. Ergo, a mistake.
Nah. Well, he's trying to be like more fan friendlier, I guess, to try to get rid of that toxicity that was known as the DC EU.
That was known as the anti-Snyder people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
because both sides were pretty toxic, right, Mike?
No, there were good side. There were good people on both sides. Yeah, there were.
What was the biggest mistake DC Studios has made? Hot Takes Tuesdays.
Hiring James Gunn. Honestly,
wow. We don't accept that answer because the studio wouldn't exist without him. He did not proceed. He proceeded.
Okay, I'll give a genuine answer because I don't actually think that's the biggest mistake. I think that's to be seen. I have my reservations about it because it's taking another MCU guy and looking at it from a greed point of view. The MCU made a lot of money here, so let's take this MCU guy and like put it. It's nothing to do with James Gunn himself. I think James Gunn actually has directed some good movies, so that remains to be seen. I just think the biggest mistake was just, even if it wasn't with Snyder, I think they should have continued that story. Even going into DC Studios. Only because, like, even if it was just one movie, just wrap up that story. Wrap up that Justice League.
I got you.
You mean the Flash?
Side, whatever. That Flash is not a wrap up of the storyline that was going through, right? Because
it all up. Nice little bow.
I don't think it wrapped it up at all, because I think that is forever going to be like an L on DC, and people are always going to be like, oh, well, we don't even know if they're going to like continue or pivot or do whatever that they're going to do just because like there's some, a little bit of bad reception or whatever it is to their movies. I think they should have just wrapped up that little story and then moved into a new universe. I think that would have been the best.
Like the Chappelle Show, wrap it up.
I agree with Nerdman. Wrapping it up and allowing Cavill to come on scene for one more movie. It would be Justice League Goodbye.
Wait. Why did Cavill need another movie? What exactly did he need to wrap up?
In the end of Black Adam, it sounded like Cavill and Rock were going to fight each other. It sounded like there was more to it. It came to an abrupt end, and to give a conclusion. And even the conclusion could be something like, a crisis event. And that way, when the crisis event is introduced in his new universe, we'll all remember, oh, yeah, that's what happened to that last universe. So
You
they
think
could
giving The Rock a bigger bone in DC
telling you,
after
man.
that is a better choice than what they did?
Let The Rock make his little slash fiction somewhere else, okay?
No. I just think what I'm saying, and I think what also Chillmonger is saying, is you could have wrapped it up almost in 1 or 2 movies. Like just do Justice League 2 and 3. Don't have Snyder writing or Snyder directing necessarily, but whatever.
No,
just
that's the mistake.
Wrap up that story.
The Snyder fans would not go for
still
any
going?
other Justice League that
You're
without
right.
Snyder.
You're potentially right, but there was a point.
Potentially.
There was a point at which it could have been salvaged. I think by the time things went
Not at all.
Into the Snyder.
The biggest mistake DC Studios has made so far was not shit canning Joker 2.
I don't. How's that a mistake?
Now you got to keep Joker 2.
No, I'm just saying, like, how can you even know that's a mistake? You don't. It's not even come out yet. Like,
it's going to make $90 million opening weekend, and the WB stock is going to fall below $7 the week after.
You may be right,
get
but that has not happened yet.
When you should buy in the WBD.
They probably shouldn't have made it a musical. That's for damn certain.
How deep into development was it? DC Studios didn't have anything to do with that. That was kind of something that they couldn't stop.
I kind of
Joker 2 was before DC
so
Studios.
agree. Yeah, I don't so agree. Don't
Martin Scorsese
much agree with Rosali, but what I do agree with Rosales. What I said was I think that the biggest mistake they did was they should have tax write-off The Flash. They should never have released that shit. They should never have released Black Adam. Like anything from when James Gunn took over, they should have not greenlit anything from that trash Snyder universe. They should have just taxed right off the entire shit and started straight from Superman Legacy and told every single Snyder bro to go F themselves. Like that's what they should have done.
When we look at how much those movies all made, Paul is correct. Flash would have been better off with a write-off.
The Flash literally cost more to make, like because of all the reshoots and stuff they had to do in that, than to release and put out at the cinema. It is the biggest mistake that DC's made. That movie, besides casting Ezra Miller in the first place, that's the biggest mistake DC's ever done. That dude cannot act. Firstly, secondly, that's not true.
Innocent.
That's not true. He acts really well in this movie where he is a serial killer because that's who he is in real life. Like,
Okay, but even though he's been proven innocent.
Was he proven innocent? Hang on, was he proven innocent of chokeholding that woman and smashing her on the ground?
Of the grooming,
but not breaking and entering into that couple's apartment in Hawaii.
Never charged. None of your
never
business.
Charged.
You don't know what
innocent
the context was.
If he was never charged, he was never proven innocent, and just like he was never proven guilty.
That's not the way the law works.
That's the way the law works in America. You are innocent until proven guilty. So he was never proven innocent. He was never proven innocent.
So that means nothing. It's zero. You're not supposed to judge.
We agree.
Why are we talking about his character?
Nothing about it.
Why are we talking about his personal character? We're talking about his character that he played, which was terrible.
You ever talk about anything you know about?
Because you went into an assault on his character. You've been doing that for a long, long time before anything came out. Like any evidence, anything. You just were like, oh, news. The news told me Ezra Miller is a groomer. So
I didn't say. I never said he was a groomer once.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I have it on stream, bro. Me and K-Dots were going back and forth.
I want to hear it.
Me and K-Dots were going back and forth with you because
you hate him as an actor.
We're done. We're asking 33 burning questions. We're almost ready to close out. We've been here for a long time.
That's not true.
You can't talk over me. I'm talking. It's 33. The question is, the question is, what is the biggest mistake that DC Studios has made? If you have not answered yet, I think Mike and Felicity and K-Dot did not answer yet. Let me know what you think.
I don't think the biggest mistake is DC Studios. I think the biggest mistake is Warner Brothers. They haven't had any competent leadership. They haven't any consistent leadership, and that's what they need. And they haven't had that. And I don't know if it's. I don't think they necessarily they keep saying that the comic books don't matter. It's an afterthought. Like with Marvel, Disney owns Disney owns Marvel, and they would stop making comics because it's like it's what's the word, expendable. And I think maybe that's the same thing that's going on with DC. Like Warner Brothers doesn't. That's the narrative for Rosales. Come on, you don't know
Rosales,
this?
he's not answering the question. He's talking about Warner Brothers. The question is the biggest mistake DC has made, and you're just telling me about Warner Brothers mistakes.
But it starts with them. It starts with, that's the reason that there are mistakes that DC has made, which is like any litany you can pick. There's so many. I mean, it's
no, there's not. DC Studios just started this year with James Gunn and Peter Safran.
He's talking about the DCU.
Right. And the question is about James Gunn and Peter Safran's DC Studios. That's why
they haven't really made that many mistakes.
Oh, well, then you want to keep it that way? Okay, then
yes,
then
like
it's what you said.
That's
it's
what
what
I want
you
to keep
said.
it, Mike.
No, it's what you said. It's them trying to be transparent with the fans. They don't deserve it. Screw them. That's all. They get what they get. That's it. And they don't like it, tough. Pound sand.
I hear you.
I got one mistake. Toxic. I don't like so far what I think is a mistake personally for me. This is me talking personally. I can move on from it, but I think canceling Superman and Lois, but keeping stuff like the Batman, and you're gonna have a Batman in your main universe, doesn't make any sense, because it's like if you're gonna let Batman have all these different adaptations outside of the main DCU, then why can't Superman? And the show is well received, right?
Now, when they show it, if they show it on something like a regular schedule, then maybe yes.
I can explain that for you, K-Dot, if you'd like.
It's not got enough viewership, dude, to keep it on.
I mean,
I like the show as well, but it's not.
I mean, whether it has viewership or not, if Batman can get multiple projects, then then you should keep that same.
But the Batman projects are
Batman has
making
multiple
money.
projects because it makes money, man. Everyone sees Batman. People see Batman and they go watch it because it's Batman. Like that's the truth.
Yeah, but Superman also can make money too. So
you're looking at a director who signed a multiple movie contract to begin with. Secondly, they sold CW, and the CW people aren't making those types of shows anymore. They were the ones putting the money behind the production. And now they're not making that type of TV show. They're making movies that are co-produced out of Canada because it's cheaper that way. That's how the CW is going. On the other hand, what's his name? Whoever's doing this movie, the Batman, has signed a multi-picture deal for these Batman. And as long as they do make some amount of money, they have to honor that contract.
Right. And
good answer.
I mean, that's okay. Let's look at the Batman is doing well, that universe so far. Let's look at Batman Cape Crusader. How well did that do? Because I seen people talk about it for like a week and people moved on from it.
I didn't think
the show was bad. Right.
It made them money. It made WB money.
Did they drop all the episodes all at once though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. See, that's part of the problem there, DC Dots.
Right.
Because when you do that, you don't have that engagement, and that's part of that's why.
I don't think it would have.
Not necessarily because of the content.
And it's a burning star that just burns out real fast. It's like
I don't think it would have.
They didn't even treat that. So basically, what I'm saying is this: yes, Batman is the goose that lays the golden eggs at DC. Same as Spider-Man. But the thing is, DC is always going to have this problem of Batman getting priority over other characters, and DC's never going to let other characters grow. If they keep doing this consistent thing, they always do with Batman. They always keep on relying on him, falling back on him, and other characters languish. They suffer due to Batman's hype. Look at Superman. Over the years.
Here's the thing about the
Batman makes money, man. No one.
No. I know Batman makes money, but DC is more than just self-fulfilling prophecy. They should have been doing like when Wonder Woman was popular, they should have done an animated series. That gets people excited for the next Wonder Woman. Then you could, put like whatever villain you want that she's going to face in the next movie. You could do like several episodes with that villain. So now people are like, oh yeah, they're going to do a live action version of that villain.
So they're doing the right thing with the Creature Commandos.
It's very, very important to have these characters in multiple mediums, right? So that people get excited about the movies. That's why people are excited about Riddler being in the next Batman movie, or the Court of Owls being in the next Batman movie. No one gives a crap about, I don't know, Mr. Mind being in the next Shazam movie. right?
Yeah, right.
If it was in an animated series and it was explained why Mr. Mind is actually really a cool villain, then maybe you might get some. I'm not saying definitely, but maybe you might get a little bit more engagement there.
You will.
The problem with
Batman Cape
DC,
Crusader was on its way to being crap canned, just like every other thing, because it wasn't going to make them any money on Max.
Yeah.
But the producers decided to see if they could shop it around, and they got permission to do that. And what they found was that they could take it to Amazon, and Amazon not only bought that series, but also bought a second series to boot. So they've gotten paid for two seasons, with only having the one to show for it, which they were not going to get in the first place.
Yeah,
so Batman was
Batman made money again. Batman made money for Warner Brothers,
but he wasn't good.
Again, no. I get that.
But basically, this is the one thing. I'm gonna be a Marvel show right now. This is the one thing I give Marvel Studios credit for. They took characters that Groot is more popular
than Superman
right now.
Let's face it.
But who did that? But who did that?
James Gunn did that. James Gunn did that.
Who took those characters and made them popular? What was his name?
James Gunn.
No. That's happened with DC. That's happened with multiple.
DC is so fortunate now that they were able to snatch him up. They were so fortunate that they were able to snatch up James Gunn, who actually cares about comics, who actually cares about the source material, and actually will put that on screen. We have had executive after executive who don't give a crap about these DC characters, pumping out trash after trash, giving in a whole universe to a director who thinks it's cool to swap out lenses in an old school camera and shoot his movie on it, and then have pixels missing from the entire movie because of that, because he thought it was cool. That's the kind of person they handed an entire universe to.
Okay.
No, we have someone in charge now that actually cares about comics, and that matters. That matters.
The entire Kool-Aid. So James Gunn is a huge comics nerd.
James Gunn is
a huge comics nerd.
Dude, at least he actually.
Tell me, what does Guardians of the Galaxy have to do with the actual comic? It's good. I'm not going to deny that. But how well does it actually follow the actual source material?
You mean how he took 80s characters and he reforged them to make them updated for today's time?
That's not the point. You're saying that he's really good because he follows the source material. He cares about the comics.
No, he cares about the source
material. How well did
material.
He follow the source material in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Did he have to fit into Feige's vision for that? Yeah, he did.
Oh.
He had to box himself into that.
He had to fit into Feige's vision.
He got you.
Gosh.
He did.
He didn't get me anything. He's got Maxwell Lord as a hero in the Justice League. In the Superman movie already.
Well, we don't know yet. We
don't
know yet.
Or
you do. Hold on. You do know that Maxwell Lord was a hero at the beginning. You do know that, right? In the Justice League.
And he funded.
You know that.
You do read comics, don't you?
Superman couldn't fly when he first started in the comics.
Exactly.
I mean, come on.
Baby steps.
Maxwell Lord is now an established villain in the DC universe for a very long time.
But he didn't
start out that way.
By the end of the show.
That is the most popular version of the character, and he's made it his bloody brother. Does that look like Maxwell Lord to you?
Eric writes. Eric says, we will see how Gunn's DC goes. I don't like what I've seen so far. It looks like Guardians of the Galaxy 5 instead of Superman from what I've seen from the leaks. Superman wasn't in the Justice League when it started either. Good point. You know, I can see Eric and what Nerdman are trying to say when it comes to that, but that's not the question. The question is 33. What is the biggest mistake DC Studios has made thus far since they started?
It's releasing the Flash instead of a tax write-off. That's the biggest mistake they've done.
This question is for whoever didn't answer yet. This question is for.
We only had the power to do the tax write-offs.
I haven't.
Because DC Studios couldn't. I mean, they didn't even know studio.
Go ahead.
All right, so I would say, from a PR standpoint, I don't like how things went down with Henry Cavill. However, I am in favor of them letting him go and trying to move on and do something different. It's hard to take somebody's trash and make it treasure. So you might as well start fresh, which it appears that he is trying to do for the most part.
Okay, so far that's not a mistake. I want to hear the mistake.
No, the mistake was the PR thing, because the way that it happened with him showing up at the end of Black Adam and making it seem like there was going to be, a continuance, like trying to draw the audience in, with his appearance at the end of that movie.
But wasn't that all The Rock, though? That was all The Rock trying to.
It was, yes, it was the fault of Danny and The Rock. Yes, I agree with that. So
no. That was the studio's fault as well for giving The Rock that much power. Like, he's gonna be this big, massive player, like that's gonna turn around the fortunes of DC. The problem with that, with what happened at the, putting Cavill at the end, is it reminded everyone right at the end of this franchise why we hated it so much, because they could never follow through.
Actually,
they could never follow through, and that was it. Everyone's like, okay, these guys really are clowns, don't know what they're doing. They don't know the behind the scenes that another company has bought, Warner Brothers, and it's different people. They just see the product on screen and go, wow, they can't even do that. Like the most basic thing. And, and I think DC is going to suffer for, and I think you're right about that. The PR move with Henry Cavill is one of the worst.
Nope, it's not, because the studio has been led by James Gunn and Peter Safran since November of 2022.
Yeah.
Black Adam came out in October. So we can't say anything. Like, it's not on.
All that stuff was before. Like, James.
What do you mean we can't say anything? What are you
October
talking about?
Comes before November.
They knew they were going to make
September, October, November. That's why you can't put that on DC.
They were going with James Gunn. You think they didn't know they were going with James Gunn by then?
No, they probably knew. But what I'm saying is, James Gunn couldn't.
So they should have taken that scene out of the Black Adam. Then
Zaslav.
They knew that.
That's Zaslav. That's Zaslav's fault. That's not DC Studios' fault.
Yeah, that's Zaslav. That is Zaslav's fault.
Yeah, and that's what I say. And this is where Zaslav.
The Flash is on James Gunn. That is on him. Yes, they could have stopped that from coming out and used it as a tax write-off.
What if he tried?
No, but there's Zaslav.
I hope he did, and I hope one day he writes a memoir and I find out I tried really hard, guys, to make this movie not exist, but it had to come out. I was pressured by the board or something like that. I'd be like, I forgive you, James Gunn, for this abomination. But
that's still on Zaslav. Zaslav seen the movie and could have canned Flash like long before. I can't put that on James either.
Yes, he can.
That's why
if he had the power to stop it. Hang on, if he had the power, he's in charge. He could have stopped that from being released at the cinema. And
not over Zaslav.
Not at the time or moment it was, because the market was already ramping up.
It came out under his It came out under his rule.
Fellas, let's get back to Felicity, because Felicity is the one who introduced this Black Adam thing with Henry Cavill. Did I change your mind, or do you still want to stick with that? Because I don't think that it's worth putting the mistake on DC Studios.
It's not all that stuff with Flash, Aquaman 2. That's all Walter Hamada and Zatanna.
I'm sorry, is your
Felicity? I think he was saying to speak.
Thank you. No, I think that they knew they were going with James Gunn before it was officially announced. Those things are always planned out. He already had a lot of stuff prepared before he even took the job. So that's probably part of the reason why he got the job. No, he did have influence over the Flash. However, it was not his call to do a tax write-off. That is Zaslav level decision making.
Go.
No, go ahead.
By the way, actually, he did have influence over those last 4 films, and I'll tell you exactly why he had influence. He was the one who added the end of the Shazam, like the end credits of that Shazam movie.
Already in
why are you laughing? That's true.
That was already there.
It was already there. What are you talking about? That was to fit in with the new DCU.
Because the Suicide Squad was also part of the new DC before James Gunn came in. There was trying to establish this Argus stuff. So that was already there.
So you're saying he had nothing to do with? I might be wrong, but it seemed to me
You are wrong.
that was a setup. That was a setup to move the Shazam family or whatever into the new DCU.
By that time, The Rock was bragging about his version of the DCU and how that was going to move forward, and he was playing his cards, and that's why Henry Cavill didn't sign a contract to go and do that, because The Rock was building his play.
No, the Shazam end credit was he says you're going to be part of the Justice Society of America, or JSA. And the Shazam was joking about that. He even said we should have called it the Justice Avengers. Remember? So that was in line with the Black Adam regime with the JSA. Since James Gunn has spoken about this, James Gunn hasn't mentioned JSA. He's never gone Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters. He's going to have a JSA movie.
Good. That's not the point I'm making. It's not about the JSA. It's about the characters that were in that cameo. The characters that were in that cameo were from what's that stupid show with John Cena that everyone
Peacemaker. But Nerman, you have to remember
they were from Peacemaker.
Nerman, they were clearly trying to set up something with Waller and all that stuff. That Waller show was from that era, and now they're reworking it to make it work in the DC Studios universe. It was building up Argus and the Suicide Squad.
Wait, this is all about Nerman not liking Peacemaker. That's what all this is about.
No, it's not about me not liking Peacemaker. I'm saying if he had the power to influence I even heard that he was the one who decided on the George Clooney ending of The Flash, because there were three parts of endings.
Okay, you know what? So let me interject for just a second here, because I just thought about something. Didn't James Gunn say that The Flash was one of the best superhero movies that he had seen? Does anybody else remember that?
Yeah, so they all towed the company line. They all towed the company line, and they're not going to say
hang on. But James
you're starting out, and you're trying to develop a good relationship with fans. Don't come out with a lie like that. It's just bad.
But what's he going to say? He's going to be like, yeah, you might like this, maybe not. There's some stupid stuff in there, but I think it could be okay.
You can wait for streaming.
No,
yeah. He's not going to say that. He wants his company to make money. Like he's in charge. Like it's like James Cameron saying the same thing about Terminator.
The Flash
like,
yeah, but come on, the greatest comic book movie of all time. Come on, I like that movie. I actually like the movie, apart from the CGI, which I just think is absolutely, you can't.
Did you like Christopher Reeve at the end of the film?
It was terrible, absolutely terrible. But saying the best comic book movie of all time, are you nuts?
It costs like 3
Even
times
as someone who likes that movie, I'll give it 65-70%, something like that. But generally speaking, like, I don't know how you can sit down and watch that movie, even if the CGI was good, and say that was the best comic book movie of all time. That's insane.
But I care about what James Gunn said about that movie as much as I care about Rotten Tomatoes. Like, they could say whatever they want. At the end of the day, it's what I think about it. I don't give two shits what they say. They could say this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, or they can say this is the worst thing I've ever seen since I don't know.
It's about trust with your audience.
It's
about trust with your audience.
Do you think the common audience is listening to everything James Gunn says? No, man. Like, honestly?
No. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
Tomatoes.
Like, but this is the thing. Cinephiles go to Rotten Tomatoes. Cinephiles are on Twitter. Like, people who are in the common audience, the ones that make these movies lots of money by word of mouth, they aren't.
People go.
They aren't in these movie talk spheres. They aren't listening to everything James Gunn says or doesn't say. Like to think that affects what these movies make.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying it's about like what your audience, whatever.
Well, you mean the critics and stuff that are listening to everything that he says.
Whatever audience is out there that actually listens to that stuff. Also,
millions of people use Rotten Tomatoes. We're talking about the general audience. There are millions of Rotten Tomatoes users every single day. It does influence. Someone's talking while I'm talking, and I'm on the big screen. Does that not resonate? Was that you, Nerdman?
No.
That was Nerdman Jr., I think.
It was you, K-Dot? K-Dot, what you want attention, K-Dot? What do you want to say, K-Dot?
No, I was asking you to add to your point. What's James Gunn's following? Because I think James Gunn has a bigger audience than we think. Because look at it recently, there's a lot more people than a couple years ago saying I want to work with DC Studios, like directors and stuff saying I want to work publicly. They're not ashamed. It's I want to work with DC Studios since James Gunn is there. I don't know. I think he has a bigger impact than we think.
Not that much. How many Twitter threads? I mean, threads. What was it called? Threads? How many threads? So how many subscribers?
If he has influence, then that's why he's saying what he's saying. He's a hype guy. He's gonna hype his product up. He's not gonna.
Yes, but you don't have to hype it up by saying it's the greatest comic book movie of all time. That's all I'm saying.
What
it's a comic book movie. I like. It's a really good movie.
That's what he's going to say.
It moved me. I thought it was like
man, I'm gonna give it to this. It's probably like the 5th best DC film in the last 10 years.
No, you could say something about a performance or something.
But it doesn't. But it doesn't.
You don't.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It doesn't
unless
match up.
that's what he was told to say. I mean,
Maybe.
if sometimes they come out there and they have a script that they have to follow. If you listen to anybody who wrestles for AEW, they say it's where the best wrestle, and then they throw thumbtacks onto the ground and do a split.
Then they hire Sasha Banks. Yeah.
And it's it's so if that was the thing that everybody had to say, then that's what they're going to say. Just like when they say filmmakers and actors come out and say there's no CGI in a movie. They say we didn't do anything in a movie. We it's all practical, and it's not. It's just you just can't tell that it was CGI.
Oh, you mean like the live action Lion King movies?
Yes, it's a live action movie.
Yeah, they went out to Africa and actually filmed live.
But it's not. And these are the data points that the people in they want them to say. The publicists tell them to say that. So he may have just been doing exactly what he was told to do when he said that, because he wasn't the only one who said it was fantastic.
You know what the irony is? What's really funny is the Rock movie made the most out of all of the latter half after the Snyder Justice League came out. So actually, Rock probably has the financially speaking, has the best right to say he should leave
more than
the
Aquaman.
Studio. I think it made more. Maybe not. Actually, you're right. The Aquaman 2 did.
Aquaman made $1 billion, man.
Second one.
Oh, the second one.
Okay. Sorry.
Second one made like
did that come out after Snyder's Justice League?
Ooh, yes.
It
made 434.
Yeah, that's the highest grossing DC EU film since Aquaman 1.
Yeah.
So Jason Momoa really rules the DC.
But then Jason Momoa should be the one who's in charge.
He's the one that's in charge. Yeah, he made the most money.
But yeah, The Rock made
this 3-hour stream featuring SSJK.Sanctum, Felicity Poobell, whose channel is called Fan Shot First. Subscribe, like. Mike's channel is Rogue Comics, and like the shop that he works at is Rogue Comics. Rosales Comics, the CEO.
Please no. I mean, at least Rosales isn't going to botch anything.
We don't need you anymore. We're done asking the questions. Nerdman. Subscribe to Nerdman. Hot Takes Tuesdays is where you find him. And Gryffindor. How do you say it? Glindor is Paul. Thanks,
for an announcement that I think you should hear.
Yes, don't want this to end.